just sex a nigga. He from Tennessee, I had a thought. She be with this shit, she told me wavy, I say for sure. Baby, let me know if you wanna eat. She like, Bob, you already know, just put your girl on fleek. I'm like, cool, I can do that, boo. What you want, some shoes? Jimmy Choo, with a handbag too. Red up, baby, boo, she gets a smile. She ain't used to this, cause she ain't used to shit. I'm just laughing, could've been a pimp, the way I move my lip. I be speeding, could've been a driver, the way I push the whip. You a hoe, could've been a bitch, the way you throw a fit. But fuck that, right back to the script, cause this a major lick. He got bricks, plus his neck and icy, and it matches wrist. Now it's like sick. Told her hit his phone, meet her in the wick, but he ain't go. But he used that slow, say meet him at the store. I'm like, cool, let him run his move, do what he gon' do, cause it's the plot. Put him in the pot, let it cook like stew. I grab my Glock, if it do a lot, but it's this shoe like new, we at the top. Yeah, we lost a lot, but that's just how it goes. But check the scope, if y'all lose one more, that's 6 to 24. Let me focus, can't be zoning out. He pulling up now, he double pop. He ain't getting out, he in that push stop. That new Porsche is built like a horse, colors like a fork. He got a ring, I guess he is divorced. Wife probably a horse, now she walk up, she strutting her stuff. This bitch thick as fuck, got in the truck, kissed him on his lips. He cupping up, but now I sneak up, crouching like a tiger, like scoop off the wire, the block on fire. So I take the car, mess with Michael Myers, I'm on his ass. Even if he mad, he gon' beat her ass. But this what happened, I got to the door, I thought I was capping, I was lacking, cause that go to up, yelling now was cracking. I'm like, what? I'm like, nigga, who? I was born to shoot, I got aim, I'm like Johnny Dane, when it come to change. So I ride, hit one in his arm, hit one in his thigh. There's no lie, bitches do or die. You say you gon' slide, you got some nerve, your shit on the curb. Boy, we put in work from 64, and from 65th, we not from 63rd.
What it do, chat? What it do, chat? What it do? Let's get into the video tonight. Let's get into the video. It's 3:14 a.m. What's up, Chris? It is 2:26. It's 2:26 where I'm located right now, guys. Shout out to everybody that's here right now. Israel missiles hit southern Israel. Iran missiles hit southern Israel. Trump also issued a 48-hour ultimatum. So it's a lot going on, guys. We're about to get into it right now. So let's just go ahead and get into this first video to figure out what is happening in the Middle East right now, chat. What is going on in the Middle East? It is a lot happening. And so let's get into it. Here we go.
The city that's home to Israel's nuclear program, more than 50 people are injured in Dimona. Tehran says the attacks was in response to U.S. Israeli strikes across Iran. A southern city and a major nuclear enrichment site have also been hit.
We not only took out the facility, but also destroyed intelligence support sites and missile radar relays that were used to monitor ship movements.
A senior U.S. naval commander says Iran's ability to attack ships in the Strait of Hormuz has been degraded. And Israeli attacks destroy more of Beirut's southern suburb. Across Lebanon, more than 1 million people have been forced out of their homes.
Somebody said they can't sleep. Why you can't sleep? What's going on, chat? Can I see your blah, 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 blah? What's going on, chat? Chris, what's going on? Where the moderators at today, man? Where the moderators at, man? Y'all holler at me once y'all come in here, man.
In a new wave of strikes, Hezbollah and Iran have targeted several cities across southern and northern Israel. An attack on the city of Dimona has left more than 50 people injured and caused extensive damage. The Israeli army says it's investigating the failure to intercept an Iranian ballistic missile. Dimona is home to Israel's central nuclear facility. The International Atomic Energy Agency says it's received no indication of damage at the Negev Nuclear Research Center and confirmed that no abnormal radiation levels were detected. The facility is 13 kilometers southeast of Dimona, home to around 40,000 people. Well, those attacks come after Iran reported its Natanz nuclear facility was attacked on Saturday. The UN nuclear watchdog has called for military restraint to avoid the risk of radiation leak in Iran. Israel claims
It looked like Iran is going tick for tat, man. Tick for tat. You send something over here and attack us, we coming right back exactly where you are. And I do have something on that actually. Let me just get over here real quick. I want to read you guys something really quick. But it does look like Israel is going tit for tat. Everything that not Israel, Iran, everything that Israel and the United States are doing, Iran is actually um, doing the same thing. So let me just get over here real quick. Is this the one that I wanted right here? Let me see. Oh no, that's not it. I forgot to get the screenshots of what I'm looking for. I can't believe I forgot to get the screenshots. That's crazy. I forgot to literally get the screenshots and they're on the phone camera that I'm using right here right now. So I can't even do that. I can't even get those screenshots. So it's okay. We're just gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
it wasn't involved in the attack. Natanz is Iran's largest nuclear facility and central to its uranium enrichment program. It's also one of the sites that the US targeted in June last year. Right, well, we have reporting from Washington, Tehran, Baghdad, and Amman. But first, let's go now to Rob McBride in Jordan. Rob, I'll start with you on the attack on Dimona because it's home to Israel's nuclear facility, as we were saying. And it looks like it was a close call there.
Cold weather means one thing around here, a massive breakfast skillet. But I also
Let's see what these guys.
Yeah, this was a very significant attack on what is a very strategically important city. Dimona is pretty much the home of Israel's nuclear program in the Negev desert down in the south of the country.
So Iranian missiles hit Dimona in southern Israel, injuring at least 51 people. Mm. And so here on this article here that I have, looks like let me make sure I can actually they're saying 41 or 47 people. So was this already let me just do this real quick. Let me change this real quick to here. See if you guys can read this real quick. What's going on, man? Hit the like button on the way in, guys. 47 injured as Iranian missiles hit southern Israel. All right. So an Israeli soldier uses a torch to inspect the damage after Iranian missiles barrages struck Dimona amid the U.S.-Israel conflict with Iran. So they're saying at least 47 people here on this article here. At least 47 people were injured on Saturday evening after an Iranian missile struck southern Israeli town in Dimona, known for the dome-shaped structure atop its nuclear facility and often referred to as Little India. Um, Rescue services said. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like uh, these defense systems are not working in Israel's favor, right? We talk about the defense system that they claim to have, and that they're intercepting a lot of Iran's missile strikes and drone capabilities. But I mean, if they're able to do something of this significance right here, like literally strike Dimona and the nuclear sites in Israel like this, um, that speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. So among the uh, matter of fact, let me see if I could just highlight this whole thing so you guys can see. Among the injured was a 12-year-old boy who is in serious condition after being hit by shrapnel, said officials from the Magen David uh, Adam Rescue Service and local residents. A woman in her 30s sustained moderate injuries from glass shards, while 31 others suffered minor injuries from shrapnel and were hurt while rushing to shelters. They said another 14 people were treated for acute anxiety at Soroka Hospital in Beersheba. Okay. The missile hit a community building and nearby older houses collapsed due to the impact. Most people were in shelters and escaped serious harm except for the young boy who remained outside, a local resident said. The IDF said it is investigating the failure to intercept. Y'all hear that, right? The IDF, they are investigating the failure to intercept the Iranian ballistic missile, according to the military air defense system engaged the missile, but the interceptors failed to neutralize it. All right, and so that tells us too that Scott Ritter was absolutely right. And a lot of you guys who were here the other night when we showed you guys the video from Scott Ritter, we might play it here in a minute. But Scott Ritter said that this military, the Iran military, definitely have missiles and drones that are able to weave through some of the defense systems of these different countries, and so they do have some modern technology that is able to allow them to strike these different targets. And that's what Scott Ritter said. And a lot of y'all that was here the other day, you said Scott Ritter didn't know what he was talking about. You said Scott Ritter was a liar, this, Scott Ritter was that. And what he said the other day proved to be true today, and many other days or many other times that Iran has retaliated in these strikes. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously these interceptors and these defense systems are not perfect, but when Israel and the United States claim to have these modern technology, the best technology in the world, that we have the best this, the best that, and it's not living up to what they're saying. Also, the UN nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, called for maximum military restraint following the attack. The IAEA is aware of reports of a missile impact in Dimona, Israel. It has no indication of damage to the Negev Nuclear Research Center, it said on X. All right, so Iran said it targeted Dimona in response to an earlier strike on the Natas nuclear enrichment site, or the Natas. The IDF, however, denied responsibility for any strike on the Natas earlier in the day. Right? Of course, that's what they're gonna do, right? They're gonna deny, but they shouldn't do that. They should just be real. Um, Damona has a large Indian Jewish population, many of whom trace their roots to the Marsh, the Maharsh, the Maharashtra, and maintain strong ties with India, earning the town the nickname Little India. Okay, so Indian shops are spread across the town, and the Maratha is widely spoken. Maratha. The Indian origin community, numbering around 7,500, makes up nearly 30%. Why did it say it like that? 30% of the population. Cricket is popular, and younger residents are familiar with Indian snacks such as the sung pada, and the blah 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 blah. All right, so that's what we got. This is from the On Manorama uh, article right here that came out. Looks like it came out. Uh, yeah, it came out published on March 22nd. March 22nd. That's today. So this is recent update right here, guys. So you can find that article right there. You could download if you have ground news, or maybe you could just go right to it. All right, so let's talking about that. So let's get back to the video right here. Hope everybody in the chat is doing well. Thank you guys for the likes so far. So they have magic missiles that the U.S. don't have. Don, why are you talking about politics? That's what they want us to do, Don. Come on, man. You know we can't do nothing about it. I talk about politics because that's what I like to talk about. That's why, Waylon. I can't believe you questioning why I'm talking about something. I do it because I like to talk about it, Waylon. You never did that before. What you mean that's what they want us to do? What are you talking about? Politics control you and I, our lives every single day. When they pass policies and pass these different things and put things in place, local politics, federal politics, it directly affect our lives. So what do you mean why we're not talking? Why we're talking about it? We're talking about it because it's important. That's why we're talking about it, and to bring awareness. You don't care, then that's your problem if you don't care, Waylon. then you don't have to watch when I'm doing political lives. I can't stand when grown people questioning a grown man about why he's doing something. I'm grown as hell. So why are you questioning why I'm doing something? You're not my fucking dad. I can't stand when people do that. If you don't like what I do, then leave and go watch somebody else. I never had to come at you like this, but it's like you guys, you question me like, why the hell am I doing something? And you've been around here. Like I'm doing it because obviously I like doing it. You act like it's illegal or something. If I'm sitting up here selling drugs, y'all will probably fucking hold me to a pedestal. Oh, I'm sitting here promoting 420. I'm talking about rap. If I'm on here reacting to fucking, uh, you know, diabolical rap music, you guys would probably be tuned in, happy as fuck. But you want to question me about talking about politics? That's crazy as hell to me. That's crazy as hell. You damned if you do, you damned if you don't. All right, so anyways, sorry I had to go on that little debacle real quick. And I quite frankly, Waylon, you still my boy, but I just had to check your ass for coming at me like I'm not an adult. I'm a fucking adult, and I talk about what the fuck I want to talk about. I hope you understand that. If you don't, kick rocks. All right. Let's get back to the video.
It does appear that from this salvo, one ballistic missile got through defences and there was a direct strike. But we also understand that there were several other impacts reported around the city. The number of casualties has been put now at over 50, most of those requiring hospital treatment, with one 12-year-old boy said to be in a very serious condition with shrapnel injuries. This is, according to the Iranians, in retaliation for this attack on Natanz, its nuclear facility. Now, Israel has said it didn't take part in that. That was an American operation. But Israel has accepted responsibility for other attacks. For example, recently an attack on what they say was a nuclear weapons research center at a university in Tehran. And Dimona has been the subject of attacks throughout Saturday. There have been a total.
I mean, at this point, we know that it's either the United States or it's Israel. So if Israel is gonna blatantly deny this incident right here, then who are they pointing the blame to? If they're gonna deny that they did not hit that nuclear facility in Iran, right? If they're gonna deny that they didn't do it, then who else did it? Was it people in the region? Was it neighbors in the region? Was it the United States? Like, who else was it? Israel, man, y'all know y'all did that, bro. Nobody's crazy. Nobody's stupid. You guys are the main ones. You're the main character in this whole thing, right? So it's crazy that they're gonna deny something.
Of 7 air raid alerts being raised in the city as missiles were trying to get through. I think during this one of the last salvos on Saturday evening, this is when these missiles and debris managed to get through the defensive screen. And given the importance, the strategic importance of this city, and also the fact that Israel prides itself on intercepting a high ratio of incoming missiles, there is going to be an investigation into how this missile could get through. But just as we've been coming on air, there have been other attacks, a very serious attack also being reported in the southern city of Arad. Again, a direct missile strike from a ballistic missile, with Israeli media reporting that a total of 6 people have been killed and more than 100 others injured in that strike. And we're still getting details on that attack.
All right, stay with us, Rob, though, because we will come back. And Manuel, let's bring in Tohed Asadi, who's live for us in the Iranian capital.
There's nothing to investigate, bro. They got through your defense system. Literally. They literally got through your defense system. And that proves what? That proves to me that your system isn't perfect as you thought it was. Right? And so there's no perfect system there. There is no perfect system there. Uh, let's see. All right. So we'll get back to the video here in a minute. So Iran reacts to Trump Hormuz warning, right? So we know that Donald Trump put out a 48-hour warning to Iran to make sure that they open up the strait within 48 hours. So Iran reacts to Trump Hormuz warning, threatening U.S. infrastructure in the Middle East if energy strikes or sites are attacked. So Tehran has issued a strong warning in response to the U.S. President Donald Trump's Hormuz threat, saying that it will go beyond military targets if it if its energy infrastructure comes under attack. The message was conveyed by Abraham Zofagri, Fagari, Fagari, okay, spokesperson for Iran's central headquarters, and carried by the state broadcaster Islamic Republic of Iran Broadcasting. So he said any strike on Iran's fuel and energy sector would trigger retaliation against a wider set of targets linked to the United States and its regional allies. And this is coming from the Times of India. This is coming from the Times of India. If Iran's fuel and energy infrastructure is attacked by the enemy, all energy infrastructure, information technology system, and desalination facilities belonging to the United States and the regime in the region will be targeted. All right, so they're not playing any games. They are not playing any games. Let me see if I can pull that video up. Is that a video? And so let me see if I can actually split this up real quick so that you guys can actually see what's happening here. All right. I heard reports they don't have enough body bags. That's crazy. Oh man. All right, so this comes after Trump threatened to strike Iran's power plants if Tehran did not reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours. All right. So in a social media post, he wrote, and matter of fact, let me pull that post up. Let me pull that post up right here because I got it right here, I believe. Where is that post? Yep. So in that social media post, right here, guys, literally, the president put it on Truth Socials because we know the president Donald Trump loves to we know he loves to go online to his social media platform, right? Truth Social. So Trump threatened strike on Iranian power plants if Strait of Hormuz not reopened in 48 hours. All right. So President Trump posted on Truth Social Saturday threatening to hit and obliterate Iranian power plants if Tehran refuses to reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours. All right. If Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So that's what Donald Trump said earlier, 8 hours ago, on Truth Socials, right? His social media platform that he created, I guess, or had created. So that's what the president said, and that is what Iran has responded to. What's up, Marquise? Long time no see, bud. What's going on? So this comes after Trump threatened to strike Iran's power plants if Tehran did not reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours. In a social media post, he wrote what we just read. Okay, we saw what he wrote. And so, according to sources cited by CBS News, the Pentagon has been working on detailed plans that include the possibility or the possible deployment of ground troops into Iran, even as no final call has been made. Though the U.S. President Donald Trump has publicly downplayed the likelihood of such a move. All right, it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens in 48 hours. It's going to be interesting to see if this is just a chess move. Um, it's just a poker move, whatever the case is. bluffing. We will know in 48 hours. We will know in 48 hours. You said that's a 6 out of 10 Trump impression. Oh man, damn! Somebody already Trump give you a hard on, bro. You crazy, bro. What's going on? Hope everybody in the chat is doing well, man. Hit that like button on the way in, man. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel, man. We almost at 20 likes already, so let's go ahead and get the likes up. Hit that subscribe button, um, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the video. Let's get back to the video.
Tehran. And Tohed, a response, it seems, to the attack on Natanz nuclear facility. Now, that's in Iran. As we were saying, Israel says it wasn't them. But regardless who it was, has there been any damage reported? And what more can you tell us about the actual facility itself?
Well, actually, this is not the first time Iranian nuclear facilities are coming under attack. Back in June, we saw 3 critically important nuclear facilities of the country, Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan, under attack. And then it was the U.S. President Donald Trump coming out clearly saying that it has obliterated the Iranian nuclear facilities, at least in those 3 points. But still, we saw another round of attack on these facilities, specifically in Natanz. There is no detailed information about the actually amount of attack in that regard, but still there are potential warnings about contamination and radiation after these recent attacks. And Iran says at least based on what we heard from the state TV, that it is a sort of tit-for-tat retaliatory strategy that it has taken since the beginning of the airstrikes, the campaign that Americans and Israelis started. And of course, this is quite clear and indicative of de-escalation being ramped up to a next level. Of course, as a reaction, we've got statements specifically from the Speaker of the Parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, in that regard, coming on his X account to say that if the Israeli regime fails to intercept the missiles in the highly protected area of Dimona, it will be an operational sign of entering a new phase of battle. And then, quote unquote, he says, Israel's skies are defenseless. This is, of course, indicative, as I told you, another escalation, and of course, in line with Iran's retaliatory strategy in that regard.
All right.
What's the end goal here? That's my question. Like literally, what's the end goal here? We already know that. We'll tell you. We know exactly what the end goal is, especially for what the United States is actually trying to achieve, for sure. We don't really know. We can't really speak for Israel, but we know uh, exactly what the United States is wanting to achieve in this entire operation, anyways. So let's get over here real
This
quick.
is the Regina sweet cherry sapling, planted.
We'll come back to this, guys. What's going on, Chris? Somebody said Cuba is next. Marquise, what's going on? You still up in here, man?
A massive escalation shakes the Middle East as Iran unleashes one of its most intense strike waves yet. Missiles rain down, defenses falter, and the balance of war appears to be shifting dramatically. The Islamic Revolutionary
Oh, Lonus, thank you for subscribing to the channel, Lonus. Thank you so much, man.
Guard Corps claims a decisive turning point in the
Thank you.
ongoing conflict. In its latest statement, the IRGC says over 200 people have been killed or wounded during the newest phase of Operation True Promise 4. Describing the 73rd wave as one of the most intense yet, the Corps says strikes targeted both northern and southern regions of Israel. This wave, it claims, was launched in tribute to fallen members of Iran's air defense forces. Missile systems, including Fatah, Qad, and Imad, are deployed alongside advanced attack drones. The operation is carried out by the IRGC's Aerospace Force, signaling a coordinated and large-scale offensive. According to Iranian claims, Israeli air defense systems collapse under the pressure of the barrage. Multiple strategic locations are reportedly hit, including Arad, Dimona, Eilat, Beersheva, and Kiryat Gat. These cities are not random targets. They are home to key military installations and sensitive security infrastructure.
Oh, that's the first time I'm hearing that they actually hit that many cities. I don't know if y'all heard that. I thought they just hit Dimona, like a specific nuclear site that was located in Dimona, Israel. But what they're saying is that Iran actually targeted 4 or 5 different cities with these nuclear sites. That's what they're saying. So I don't know who's telling the truth and who's not. We don't
Including
know.
Arad, Dimona, Eilat, Beersheva, and Kiryat Gat. These cities are not random targets. They are home to key military installations and sensitive security infrastructure.
What's up, Psalm Jones?
Dimona, in particular, stands out as a critical flashpoint. The city is widely known for hosting Israel's nuclear reactor, making it one of the most heavily protected locations in the country. Despite these
That's why they launching the investigation right there. That's why they launching the investigation, because it's supposed to be one of the most powerful nuclear sites in Israel. So if Dimona is one of the most powerful nuclear sites in Israel, and they were still able to successfully hit those nuclear sites, and they're launching I could see why they would launch the investigation. Like, how in the hell did these defense systems fail? How in the hell did Iran still were able to launch and successfully hit targets in Dimona? That should never happen. Should never happen. That's what they would say. I don't know if that should happen or not, but that's what they're saying.
protections, Iranian strikes appear to reach their targets. Reports indicate dozens of ambulances and military helicopters rushing to evacuate the wounded. Official figures suggest nearly 50 people injured. However, local accounts hint at a far higher toll, with dozens possibly killed in the strikes. The IRGC alleges that Israeli authorities are suppressing the true scale of casualties. It claims journalists and eyewitnesses are facing mounting pressure to censor coverage of the damage. As the night unfolds, Israeli media
I can believe that, because they want to paint the narrative too. I'm telling y'all, we talked about that. The United States, Israel is real big on uh, media propaganda. They real big on that. So they definitely want to paint the narrative as if nothing happened, as if Iran don't have the capability to do this. Iran isn't successfully landing their targets. Right? They're gonna undermine the number of casualties that they have. Of course, that's what they're gonna do. That's the narrative they want to keep up.
describes the situation in stark terms. Yediot Ahronoth reports it as the most difficult night experienced by the country's home front in weeks. The strikes are not limited to Israel alone. The IRGC claims U.S. military bases across the region are also targeted. Among them are Ali al-Salam base in Kuwait and al-Dafra and al-Minhad bases in the United Arab Emirates. If confirmed, these attacks mark a significant widening of the conflict's geographic scope. At the same time, Iran highlights the role of its regional allies. It praises the efforts of Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon. The group, according to the IRGC, is opening a high-pressure front against Israeli positions in the north. This coordinated pressure from multiple directions intensifies the strain on Israeli defenses. Iran's narrative paints a picture of shifting momentum. It describes the situation inside Israel as increasingly dire for settlers living near military and nuclear facilities. The statement directly blames Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his war cabinet. It accuses them of pursuing incendiary policies that have now placed civilians at greater risk.
That's an evil man right there, man. I don't care what nobody say. This man right here on the screen, this is a evil, evil, diabolical guy, and I don't understand why we bark at his, or why we jump when he bark. When he say this, say that. I don't understand why we, you know, just listen to this man. This man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Real talk.
Perhaps the most striking claim comes at the end of the IRGC statement. It declares that the equations of war are rapidly changing. According to Iran, Israel's control over its own defense is beginning to collapse, a bold assertion that, if true, signals a dangerous new phase in the conflict. Meanwhile, tensions escalate further beyond the battlefield. Iran issues fresh warnings targeting critical infrastructure across the region. Its military command threatens to strike energy, IT, and desalination facilities belonging to the U.S. and its allies. This warning comes amid growing fears of attacks.
Somebody said, but how come Israel got nuclear weapons, but then about Iran? But man, how did that happen? Jeez, just trying to read that, man. Then, oh yeah, okay. Then bitch about Iran have nuclear weapons, but they're the ones that got it. Yep, we have them. They have them. China has them. Russia has them. North Korea has them. Everybody have them. But they have this narrative out there that if we don't take away Iran's nuclear capability, uh, they pose an imminent threat to the United States. So I think that President Trump had to paint that narrative in order to sort of justify his reasoning for helping out Benjamin Netanyahu this time, because none of the former presidents wanted to do anything, um, or wanted to do to take him up on that, on the assistance of going into this war. And so the fact that POTUS was able to um, listen to Benjamin Netanyahu this time and actually help him and assist him this time, he had to say that they posed a threat to the United States. That was the only way he could justify for helping this guy. That's it. That's it. Even though Tulsi Gabbard, many others tried to inform him that they were not an imminent threat, um, he still went on and decided to help them out anyway and to strike first in this war. So I think this video is, it's not gonna show too much more. Let me go back to the previous video we were at earlier. Let's go back to the other video. Joe Kent, an honest man. He ain't always been honest.
Entering a new phase of battle. And then, quote unquote, he says, Israel's sky are defenseless. This is, of course, indicative, as I told you, another escalation, and of course, in line with the Iran's retaliatory strategy in that regard.
All right, Manuel Raplo in Washington, D.C. Manuel, so Israel says it wasn't them, and if true, then it really...
Hey man, everybody's welcome over here. You know what I'm saying? Trump supporters, non-Trump supporters, you guys are welcome to the chat, to the live, man. We're just having a discussion. You guys are free to disagree in the chat. Just be respectful to each other. You know what I mean? So, Trump supporters go down and enlist in the military. Somebody said. Felix said there shouldn't be a war. Fix the U.S. first. Fix the U.S. first, right? A lot of people believe that a lot of people believe that he's actually putting America first by doing this. That's the crazy part. Okay, he's actually putting Israel first by doing this, in my opinion. The fact that he was able to assist them and make us believe that they pose an imminent threat because he knew that we were going to call him out for this whole ordeal. He knew that we were going to be up in flames about this, man. Like, yeah, people are pissed off about this, and then they're still asking for funds from Congress right now as we speak. They're asking for $200 billion to continue funding this war. It's crazy.
Perhaps only points to the United States for carrying out this attack. Has it commented on this at all?
We're still not seeing a whole lot of chatter here in the United States on this right now. The fixation is really over the sort of contradictory statements by President Trump, who claims that the war is winding down, with many people sort of saying, how can this be when the president says that the war is winding down, but there's still calls for more funding from the Pentagon to the tune of $200 million when there's the deployment of troops on the table here. But there is a strategic message from the White House right now, and that's that President Trump is signaling that the U.S. is close to being done with the war, that the U.S. is close to finishing all of its military objectives. Essentially, what President Trump is saying is that the U.S. has already won in Iran, militarily at least. At least that's the message that President Trump is trying to convey specifically to the American people, which are every day increasingly becoming more concerned with how long this war is going to be dragged on, with how much it's going to cost. We heard from Admiral Brad Cooper of U.S. Central Command today, who was saying that the pressure is going to be.
Okay, we already won, and we already achieved our military objective by destroying their nuclear sites, right, and destroying their nuclear capabilities. If we already won, then why are we still there? Why are we still sending troops there? Why are we still asking for $200 billion to fund the operation if we still won? It don't make sense. It do not. If we won already, if we have defeated them already, why are we asking for help from the allies? Why?
Consistent on Iran. So even if military operations are scaled back in Iran, the idea of having more troops being sent to the region, it's expensive. This is one of the reasons that we're hearing
Duh.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth say that there's going to be calls for more war spending to the tune of $200 billion being requested from Congress very soon. So right now there is this back and forth over the contradictory sounding language from President Trump, but it is a strategic message that the president is giving. Not on the one hand to the American people, reassuring them that the war is winding down, that the war could very soon be coming to an end, and another
He ain't reassuring nobody. He is not reassuring nobody. The American people, the majority of the American people want this shit to stop. A majority of the American people want this conflict to stop today. Not next week, not tomorrow. They want it to stop today. So we don't care about no reassurance. Like he's talking about, they asked him about oil and gas prices, right? And the only thing that the president can say is, "Well, I thought it would be worse." That you talk about gaslighting people like crazy. Like he's a professional gaslighter. Oh, I thought it's actually not too bad. Like it's actually not. I thought it would be way worse. Is that all he can say? Really? He don't have a plan. He don't have an end goal. He don't have a real strategy. He don't know how long we're gonna actually be there, right? That's why he's offering all of these vague answers, bullshit answers, right? He's gonna stay there as long as he can in order to gain control of the all of the choke points in the region, right? He wants to gain control of the Strait of Hormuz. That's what he wants, right? And it's not to benefit us, the United States, the American people. It's not to benefit. What are we gonna see from this at the end of the day? As American citizens, as a United States citizen, what are we gonna see from this? At the end of the day, we're not gonna see anything. It's gonna be the elites that who are gonna make all the money from this. If their objective is to take over these choke points and to control the oil flow and control any other flow through the strait, right? What are we gonna get out of that as the people in America? Nothing. We ain't gonna get shit out of it. But what we're gonna feel the effects of it, right? Until they reach this quote unquote objective, we're gonna feel the gas prices, we're gonna feel the oil prices, we're gonna feel the inflation, the surge in food prices. We're gonna feel all of that shit. But when it's said and done, we're not gonna receive anything. We're not gonna receive anything. And so many of you guys actually support this shit that's happening, and you're not gonna benefit from it at all. Nothing. 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 There was a plan. The plan was the U.S. is the best, so it would be easy. Yeah, okay. The U.S. is the best, but they exhausted all of your. They literally exhausted almost all of our interceptor defense capabilities. So now we're asking for $200 billion, uh, so that we can go and get some more interceptors and defense mechanisms. But we're the best, right? We're the best, and we don't even know what they have deep in their arsenal. We don't know what they have deep in their arsenal, but we're the best. Sure, okay.
Message to the rest of the world saying that America is going to continue to portray strength and perseverance in this conflict.
All right, thanks very much, Manuel Rapallo there for us from Washington, D.C. Now, Iranian media are reporting the armed forces launched 2 ballistic missiles towards Diego Garcia. That's an island in the Indian Ocean that hosts a joint UK-US military base. Now, before the war, Iran was believed to have missiles capable of striking targets 2,000 kilometers away. For an Iranian weapon to reach Diego Garcia, it would need to have a range of more than 4,000 kilometers. The UK Defense Ministry says the attack was unsuccessful, but the Israeli military has warned the missile could target cities in Europe.
Lawn care shouldn't feel like a guessing game.
They got him, Chad. They got him. They got him. He doesn't. Drunk in charge of Department of Defense doesn't want to have one either. That's fucking drunk.
Launched a 2-stage intercontinental ballistic missile with a range of 4,000 kilometers at an American target on the island of Diego Garcia. These missiles are not intended to strike Israel. Their range reaches European capitals. Berlin, Paris, and Rome are all within direct threat range.
Let's go back to Rog McBride in the Jordan.
They're only saying that, right? And like, Iran has already made it clear, right? They've already made it clear. They're going to target U.S. military bases, regardless of where they're located, right? Their main target is going to be those U.S. military bases. But you can see from what this guy just said, you can see the propaganda from Israel. Israel is going to try to make it seem like Iran is trying to attack those European cities and not necessarily the U.S. bases, right? And so that's the narrative that they're going to try to paint, so that so that they can fool Berlin or fool these European nations into believing, or these French nations into believing that um, they're targeting their cities. It's crazy how they live on propaganda. The Israeli media, they live on propaganda. They love propaganda. Just look at him. He looked like a propagandist.
Iran launched a 2-stage intercontinental ballistic missile with a range of 4,000 kilometers at an American target on the island of Diego Garcia.
At an American target, yes. An American United States military target, yes.
These missiles are not intended to strike Israel.
They're not intended to strike Israel, okay?
Their range reaches European capitals. Berlin, Paris, and Rome are all within direct threat range.
Let's go back to Rog McBride in the Jordanian capital.
So what? You think people don't know that? We know that. We know that these cities are in strike range. They know that. Iran know that. We all know that. Why did you feel the need to point that out? You didn't need to point that out. They've already made it clear that they're targeting United States military bases. That's it. in the region and beyond.
So, Rob, a warning there from the Israelis. It's sort of the missile, the ballistic missiles that were headed to Diego Garcia is really playing into the Israeli narrative that this is why they went to the war in the first place.
Yeah, I think the Israeli leadership are really making a lot of political capital out of what was a surprising appearance of this much longer-range ballistic missile. Interestingly, with there have been various comments coming out of the Israeli leadership just about the state of this war and how long it is likely to last, especially given some of the contradictory statements coming from their allies, the US. People have been looking to Israel to see if they can shed any light on just how long this conflict might go on for. We've been having some interesting comments, first of all, from the Defense Minister, Israel Katz, saying that this conflict is far from being over, and indeed saying that we are just about to get into a more intensive phase of fighting, without detailing exactly what that is. But also the comments from the head of the military here, General Il Zamir, talking about the missile being fired at Diego Garcia, but also intriguingly saying that in his estimation, Israel is currently around at the halfway point in its campaign of fighting against Iran, which would mean that after, 3 weeks of fighting, now getting into week 4, the estimate would seem to be that they are counting on this conflict, or the fighting part of this war, lasting maybe between 6 and 8 weeks, which does fall largely into line with many of the other predictions we have been hearing about. As far as the Israeli public is concerned, there is a certain amount of war weariness as this war goes on and gets into this 4th week of being constantly having to go to shelters and so on. But I think there is a general acceptance and a general feeling from most Israelis, who mostly believe that a nuclear-armed Iran is an existential threat, that they have to put up with the privations of this conflict.
They blurring out those videos. They blurring out like the surrounding area. Just like, look, no, you're not about to find out exactly where we're firing from. They are blurring out the surrounding areas from the missile takeoffs. It's like, nah, bruh. We're not about to allow you to know where we're firing from, where our setup location is. No, 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 no. No, thank you, guys. We're at 30 likes, man. Get the likes up to 50, guys. Thank you for being here. Shout out to everybody that's here right now. Good morning to you all.
That ultimately it will be worth it.
All right, thanks very much. That's Rob McBride there for us in Amman. And let's go back to Tohid, because I also want to ask you what the Iranians have been saying about the attack. We've heard, obviously, from the Israelis there. What is Iran saying?
Well, actually, about the recent developments and specifically about the missile capabilities, we know that previously Iran announced the 2,000 self-imposed limitation for its.
Dom, you familiar with the river-to-river Jewish belief, the Great Israel they call it? No, I'm not familiar with that, Barry. I'm not. You don't care about your fellow American soldiers in the United States military bases. You on the IRGC side? Come on, man. Who paying you, homie? Alex, how do you come to that conclusion that I don't care about American soldiers? I'm only commentating, man. What are you talking about? Go check out the Iranian army. There is nobody wearing effing turbans. They got military tactical gear on. They even got their own Green Beret, Special Frog forces, men too, like the SEALs. I'm sure. I'm sure every country have their own special forces or their own special Navy SEALs. I'm pretty sure every country has that. Like elite soldiers. Right. That's what Donald Trump would tell you, that they don't have any more missiles. We destroyed all of their missile capabilities. That's crazy.
Long range missiles, but it seems that from the war back in June last year, there is a sort of a strategic shift. And of course, we know that technically speaking, there is a possibility for.
Shout out to Sister Jose. Sister Jose, Sister Jose. Shout out to Sister for subscribing to the channel.
increasing the range of these missiles, specifically seeing that these are missiles that are carrying heavy warheads, and with decreasing the actually warheads actually capacity.
Alex, you better tread lightly with me, Alex. You better fucking tread lightly with me. Understand that. I ain't gotta answer none of your fucking questions. You better tread lightly with me, Alex. Tread very lightly with me. Be very careful. Understand that.
There is a possibility for increasing
You don't run shit over here.
the range of those missiles. All in all, this is a very existential threat that Iran is facing, and it has been mentioning from time to time, specifically over the past week, that in case of any attack, there are going to be U.S. bases across the region under attack, and of course, any third country that gets engaged in these strikes is going to be their quote-unquote legitimate target. So what we can say is a sort of escalated situation in which Iran tries to cope with the situation. It tries to actually unveil the new cards, specifically when it comes to its weaponry toolbox. And under this delicate situation, we are just closely following to see what comes next.
All right, thanks very much. That's Tohed Asadi in Tehran. Well,
The fact that y'all trying to put a number on their missiles is really crazy to me. Right? You say they got thousands of missiles left. Iran is still they still able to they still have. Y'all gotta go listen to Scott Ritter, man. Scott Ritter tell y'all exactly what's going on and what Iran still has underneath those bunkers, man. They got a lot of shit. They have a lot of things.
U.S. Central Command says Iran's ability to strike ships in the Strait of Hormuz has been degraded. Admiral Brad Kruper says attacks earlier this week targeted an underground weapons facility.
We also remain zeroed in on dismantling Iran's decades-old threat to the free flow of commerce throughout the Strait of Hormuz. For example, earlier this week, we dropped multiple 5,000-pound bombs on an underground facility located along Iran's coastline. The Iranian regime used the hardened underground facility to discreetly store anti-ship cruise missiles, mobile missile launchers, and other equipment that presented a dangerous risk to international shipping. We not only took out the facility, but also destroyed intelligence support sites and missile radar relays that were used to monitor ship movements. Iran's ability to threaten freedom of navigation in and around the Strait of Hormuz is degraded as a result, and we will not stop pursuing these targets.
You finally...
Y'all heard that? Who that is? The Navy general right there? What's that, 3-star? Navy general? General Cooper? Shit, General Cooper said they're done. Their underground facilities are even destroyed. I don't see a draft coming. I mean, the way they're talking, the way this administration is talking about how we've destroyed everything, their underground facilities, we've destroyed everything, their Navy, their Air Force. What do you mean? I don't see a draft coming. I don't see a draft coming. Even though they're, they're opening up the door for the guys who were um, relieved of their duties for refusing the COVID-19 shots and stuff like that. They're going to reinstate those guys who want to come back into the military, but I don't see a draft coming. I don't see that. Spending our tax dollars while 10K homeless in California. Damn. I do know they have a lot of stuff. Just went by one comment I said and put it has oh, okay. All right.
Pacific Forum. He's the former director of NATO's Arms Control, Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Center, and he joins us live now from Washington, D.C. Thank you for having the time to speak to us here at Al Jazeera. Two nuclear countries at war here, nuclear facilities under threat in both nations. Is this an escalation, do you think?
Oh yeah.
Well, I think this is the logical outcome of the U.S. attacks. And when we're trying to think about how Donald Trump would declare victory, I think he can't declare victory until he
Yo, Ghost, thank you for subscribing. Ghost, shout out to Ghost for the subscription. Thank you.
solves something regarding the very large amount, 440.9 kilograms of 60% enriched, highly enriched uranium that has so far been unaccounted for since the bombings back in June. So that's why I think we see this new bombing at Natanz to try to resolve the issue and to claim that we've neutralized this reservoir of material from which Iran could derive a nuclear weapon.
And for people like myself and others in the region, when I heard the news, especially about Natanz, this is the second time because it was attacked in the war last year. I mean, here in Qatar, we're just across the water from Iran. We're not that far away. The first thing that comes to mind is, are we safe?
If we're talking about bombing the facilities where they enriched uranium, or a facility, we suspect there's another facility near Natanz that Iran might be storing the enriched uranium, you are completely safe. Because if this material is hit, if the containers, you're talking about a uranium hexafluoride gas in basically a metal tube like you would keep carbon dioxide or propane. If it's punctured, the uranium gas
Admiral, not general. That's right, bullies. Admiral. You're right. You're right about that. Iran has been on the most nasty sanctions in over 4 decades and still put together a strong economy, 17th in the world, with their own technology, one hell of a missile system. Built their own technology, one hell of a missile system. Yeah, that's because Iran have some of the best scientists in the world. Iran literally has some of the best scientists in the world. Believe it or not.
can escape, and it's very dangerous if you're in the room with it. But a kilometer away, you would have no idea this happened. There's no radiological release possible really outside a number of meters. This really is not an environmental hazard, except if you're in the room. If you're nearby and you breathe in this gas, sure, it's dangerous. But we're not talking about fission. We're not talking about Chernobyl. We're not talking about attacking a working reactor. We're talking about a nuclear fuel that is in gaseous form that is not combustible. It's not going to poison the atmosphere or damage people way off site, as in, across the Gulf.
But could it go horribly wrong? Because the US and Israel says that their goal here is to completely, I'll use a word that Trump uses, obliterate the nuclear program in Iran, for them to not be able, not just set it back, but to not be able to rebuild it again. If it hits facilities twice like that, how do you mitigate a disaster from happening?
Again, there's no threat of an environmental disaster.
Man, that look like a hospital right there, don't it, Chad?
Actually, the worst disaster we could have is that we have overconfidence
that look like a hospital right there. That don't look like a nuclear site. Like they literally attacked the hospital right there. We all know that they attacked some schools too, but damn.
We've actually destroyed it. Right now, we believe that a lot of this material is buried under rubble, and we think the Iranians have not been able to recover it and move it off-site. So the United States is clearly trying to either destroy it in place or further bury it to make it impossible to recover. But even then, we don't know if all of...
Yo, shout out to I'm Awake. Shout out to I'm Awake for subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
Of it is in that facility. Some of it may have been moved to Esfahan. Some of it may have been moved to a site that we don't even know about. And so there is the possibility, the worst case.
Somebody said, what field do these scientists specialize in? They specialize in the nuclear field. They have some of the best nuclear scientists in the world. Very intelligent people and best scientists in the world are not in the same ballpark. They have some of the best nuclear scientists in the world. There you go. That's what they're specialized in, Mr. Scientific Energy.
Scenario is that this material is unaccounted for, and we have this lingering doubt that there may be highly enriched uranium that can be used for a nuclear weapon somewhere that we can't tell whether it's been destroyed, buried, neutralized. It might just be gone. And the worst case scenario would be that it's being traded on the open market, proliferated to other countries.
We talk a lot throughout this war because we're hearing it from Israel and Iran about, from the US and Israel about Iran with these nuclear facilities. But what a lot of people don't realize is that Israel is a nuclear country, from what we understand. They have been very
You can't F up 2 decades of smart planning with a week of aggression. I'm sorry for our young men who got to follow orders to their death. It's crazy work. But they hadn't been able to enrich uranium to weapon grade since they started. Dom, can you talk about the safety for the U.S., such as sleepers in the U.S.? What if something happens here? I'm not an expert. United for. I'm not an expert to talk about that in terms of the sleeper cells in the U.S. I don't know. I mean, we're all guessing here, playing the guess game. We don't know. I don't have the recon. I don't have all of the intel on that. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna speak about something I don't fully understand. Fully understand. I'm not gonna get into that. So
ambiguous about it. It also is not a signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. So should we be concerned about that?
Well, I mean, I am concerned to hear that.
but in terms of the safety of the United States, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, what we have um, interceptors all over, or defense systems all over Colorado. Apparently, we have some of the best defense systems in the world, but they have yet to be tested, so we don't know. Apparently, Israel thought they had some of the best defensive systems in the world too, and we see that those missiles, we see that those missiles were still able to penetrate through those defense systems. So we don't know. We don't know. 2003, I was sent to War II in Iraq and Afghanistan. If something happens in the U.S., Trump gets a free pass to go all in, 50K troop deployed, properly draft. Yeah, young Danny or Daniel. Okay, Iron Dome was weak. We have oceans. Okay, get back to the video, guys. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move along here in a minute. We're gonna move on to the next video.
Iran is trying to strike nuclear facilities in Israel, such as Dimona.
And I want to see though. I want to see. We're gonna really see. We're gonna see if Netanyahu and Donald Trump are both on the same page, or they're speaking different languages in terms of their objectives for this war, and their plan and the outcome, what's gonna happen, right? So, because you would think that the United States and Israel would have to be on the same page in terms of what they're trying to do in the Middle East, right? If they're gonna all be working together, striking different targets, right? They may not have the same ob- they gotta have the same plan, I believe. They all gotta be on the same page, but apparently they're not. So we're gonna figure out if they're all on the same page. Yeah, we about to listen to Netanyahu for a minute. I know many of y'all don't like Netanyahu, but we're gonna figure out. We're gonna listen to him for a second.
Have you ever seen a cherry tree that can be planted now and harvested in April? Introducing the latest agricultural breakthrough developed jointly by Yale University and other American...
לבין ידידנו הגדול, הנשיא טראמפ, הוא חסר תקדים. בידנו האחת, אנחנו אוחזים בחרב דוד, שהיא מושחזת וחדה מאי פעם, וידנו השנייה מושטת לשלום.
Bro, they not gonna translate what he's saying, bro. Come on. I know they gotta translate what he's talking about. Come on now.
מי שיושיט יד לשלום בחזרה, נאמץ אותה. ומי שינסה לפגוע בנו, נגדע את ידו. העוצמה שלנו, האומץ שלנו, הרוח שלנו, that's just the beginning. The death cult in Iran is.
All right.
This means creating the to Israel and a delay are acting together in press. First of all, I just want to say
I knew he was going to eventually have to switch over to English at some point. They're dictators. You think they know what teamwork is in terms of what they're trying to do? I mean, they got to have the same objective at like some way somehow. They're not just gonna work together and not have the same objective, but they're saying they don't have the same objective, so we'll see.
I'm alive and you're all witnesses.
Oh, that's right.
Welcome to the foreign press.
He said, I'm alive and you're all witnesses because there's a rumor out there that he was unalive. So it's funny that he's coming back now and saying that.
First of all, I just want to say I'm alive and you're all witnesses. And now that I dispatched this piece of fake news, I want to give you an update on Operation Roaring Lion. Under President Trump's visionary leadership, America and Israel are acting together in Iran with great determination and unprecedented strength. Operation Rising Lion is designed to remove the existential threats posed by the Ayatollah regime, the regime that has waged war against America and Israel and the people of Iran for 47 years. It chants death to America, death to Israel, and it delivers death to its own people. Our goals are three. One, removing the nuclear threat.
The first goal is to remove the nuclear threat.
Second, removing the ballistic missile threat.
Removing the ballistic missile threats, which Donald Trump has said that they've obliterated already. We've already obliterated their missiles, their ballistic missiles. We obliterated their nuclear capabilities.
And removing both of these threats before they're buried deep underground and become immune from aerial attack. And third, this means creating the conditions for the Iranian people to grasp their freedom to control their destiny. Today, the Ayatollah regime is not only attacking America, not only attacking Israel, not only attacking the Iranian people, it is attacking the entire Middle East and beyond. They've attacked civilians and American assets in Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, and they've even attacked through their proxies Cyprus and Europe.
Yeah, because you guys are utilizing these countries in the region. You guys are setting up shop in these different countries and firing from Qatar. You're firing from the UAE. You're firing from Saudi Arabia. You're firing from the neighboring countries in the regions, and expect for Iran not to retaliate and fire back. But you make it seem like they're just firing at these neighbors. You make it seem like they're just firing missiles at their friends just because. But you ain't gonna tell the people that they're firing at you because you're in those regions. Duh.
We've warned for decades that their ballistic missile program would be used to attack these targets far and wide, and if they're not stopped.
You knew for decades that their ballistic missiles was gonna be used to target or to target these targets. And who? The people that you just named, you knew that for decades that they were gonna fire against their neighbors unknowingly, without any cause. Bro, I swear they think we stupid, bro. They really think we're stupid, chat. They really think we're slow, guys. They think we slow.
That's just the beginning. The death cult in Iran is trying to blackmail the world by closing a key international maritime route, the Straits of Hormuz. It won't work. Israel.
It's working. It won't work, but it's working, right? But we'll see. We'll see how long it continue to work. because apparently you guys are attacking their underground weapons, right? You are dropping 500-pound bombs on their underground facilities. So we'll see. We'll see exactly how long they can sustain in keeping the strait closed and dictating the flow of the strait. We'll see how long that actually takes place. Somebody say you sound like you are on the side of the enemy. You are a lunatic. Well, leave. Just because I'm calling out these liars, it sounds like I'm on their side. No, it literally our. What do you mean? I'm not on. I don't support Israel. That's Israel is not. I'm from the United States of America. I'm not from Israel. I do not support Israel. We have no business helping Israel at all, and I mean that. So say what you want to say. I'm people are not my people are not my ally. I don't know these people. I don't know Israel. I don't know anybody of Israel. I don't care about Israel. I care about the United States of America.
Israel is helping in its own way, and intel and other
Israel means nothing to me.
means the American effort to open the Straits of Hormuz, rather. But I want to ask you to imagine how the Ayatollah regime would be able to blackmail the entire world if they had ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. Just imagine what they would do. Look at what they're doing now and imagine what they would do if they had ballistic missiles, international range ballistic missiles, and nuclear tipped warheads. Just imagine what a great threat that would be. So today, Israel and the United States are protecting America, Israel, the entire Middle East, but I venture to say the entire world. Despite the fake news that is unfortunately being spread since the start of the war 20 days ago, we are winning and Iran is being decimated. Iran's missile and drone arsenal is being massively degraded and will be destroyed. Hundreds of their launchers have been destroyed, their stockpiles of missiles are being hit hard, and so are the industries that produce them. That's important. In Rising Line, we destroyed missiles and we destroyed a lot of the nuclear infrastructure. But what we're destroying now are the factories that produce the components to make these missiles and to make the nuclear weapons that they're trying to produce. We're wiping out their industrial base in a way that we didn't do before. Iran's air defenses have been rendered useless. Their navy is lying at the bottom of the sea.
Don't he sound just like Donald Trump, guys? They are literally parakeeting. He's literally parakeeting the exact same talking points of the right, the Trump administration. Literally. Now, I don't know. Donald Trump could be parakeeting his talking points. I don't know. Because a lot of people believe Israel runs the United States, right? We move at their drum, at the beat of their drum. That's when the United States move. But literally, he's literally just repeating the same talking points as Donald Trump and the Trump administration. Real talk. It's crazy. Lying out of their teeth. Yep. Yep. That's because they gave Trump his talking points. Facts.
Today, we hit the other part of their navy in the Caspian Sea. Their air force is nearly destroyed. Iran's command and control structure is in.
Yo, that Pledge of Allegiance is crazy, bro. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of Israel, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under Israel, liberty and yarmulkes for all. Yo, that's so funny, bro. That's so funny, man. That's what's happening right now, though. Real talk. That's what's happening right now. Real talk.
Utter chaos. And I can tell you that there's still more work to do, and we're going to do it.
The new bearskin hoodie 4.0 claims to be.
And I want to close these opening remarks with one other fake news, and that is that Israel somehow dragged the U.S. into a conflict with Iran.
Uh-oh. He said that's fake news, y'all. He said he want to clear up some more fake news that Israel somehow dragged the United States into this conflict. I wonder why you want to address that. Like, why is that such a priority, right?
And I want to close these opening remarks with one other fake news.
Uh-oh.
And that is that Israel somehow dragged the U.S. into a conflict with Iran.
Y'all did.
Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do?
Do anyone really think that someone could tell President Trump what to do? Yes, you. Hence why we're in this war today. Right? All these former presidents did not want to help you, sir. They did not want to get into they did not want to involve themselves in this conflict with Iran to help out Israel. But Donald Trump took the bait because you said so. He took the bait. Yes. He was listening to you, sir.
Into a conflict with Iran. Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do? Come on. President Trump always makes his decisions on what he thinks is good for America, and may I add, I think what is also good for future generations. In this case, those interests are absolutely clear.
So why are we helping you guys then? How does helping Israel, how is that good for America? How is helping Israel fight their battles and wars? How is that good for America? Actually, how is that putting America first? Anyone else knows? Anyone know? Hmm? Anyone knows how putting Israel first or helping Israel is actually putting America first? I don't know.
And so is the clarity of our achievements. Together in close
War brings money. We'll see. We'll see if this war brings money or would it just be a waste of time. We'll see if this little war or excursion, right? This little excursion brings money or is it going to do the opposite? That's 4 billion a day, but we don't get no health care. That's all health care. All right. Trump said our bacon would go down eggs because of the favor paybacks. All right. They're the devil worshippers, taxpayers for the defense. They get kickbacks. Trump is is this guy's simp. Control for oil exports through the Middle East. Yep, that's what they're there for, right? But it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, guys.
coordination with President Trump, the close coordination between America and Israel, our militaries, our intelligence services, we're achieving goals in lightning speed. But I want to say another word. It's been said that for 40 years, I've been saying that Iran is a danger to Israel and a danger to the world. That is true. You know who else said that? President Trump. 47 years ago, when the Iranian thugs took over the American embassy, he said how dangerous this regime is. In his first term in office, he didn't need any convincing. He said the Iranian nuclear deal was the worst deal that he'd ever seen, and he walked out of it. Right before his second term, before he was reelected, I went to see him in Mar-a-Lago. The first thing he said to me was, "Bibi, we've got to make sure that Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons." He said that to me. I didn't say it to him. He didn't need any convincing there either. Now,
I just can't trust this guy. It's something. I just can't trust this dude, y'all. I swear, I don't know what it is about this Netanyahu dude, but he just looks like a damn demon out of hell, bro. I swear, I just can't trust this guy, man. I don't know what it is about him. I don't know. This guy is just like his aura, like his energy, bro. It's just like evil. I swear, just evil. Where's BB's wife Sarah that always bully and beat him? Trump is angel. Yep, if you got some shit on the Epstein file, you can. He's the devil. He's the devil that the Talmud speaks of. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. And I don't know, man. This guy's a fucking disgrace.
And why did he say that? Because for more than 4 decades, this regime, as I said in the beginning of my remarks, is chanting death to Israel, death to America. But they say Israel is only the small Satan standing in their way. The great Satan is the United States of America. And these ideological fanatics, these lunatics, define their raison d'etre, their reason for being, is wiping out Western civilization and America that leads it. They have claimed the lives, they've maimed and wounded thousands of Americans in Iraq and Afghanistan. They killed the American Marines in Beirut. They bombed your embassies. They tried to assassinate the American president, Donald Trump, not once, but twice. Now they blackmail for oil. Just imagine what they would do, what they're capable of doing, if these lunatics had nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them to every American city and every European city and everywhere around the globe. This is a danger for the entire world. It's certainly a danger for Israel. It's certainly a danger for America. We see eye to eye on that. President Trump and I, Israel.
Nigga, we ain't stupid. We listening to your fucking propaganda, nigga. They already made it clear that they want the American military, the government, not the American people. They already made it clear that Israel is their enemies. And since the United States is assisting Israel, then that by default makes the United States their enemy as well. Right? We understand that, man. But you can't sit up here and paint these narratives and give us all this propaganda talk like we gonna sit up and believe your ass, Mr. Netanyahu. The fuck are you? Who are you, sir? We don't like you. We don't believe you. We don't want to support you in America. You need to fight your own wars. If you and Iran, or if Israel and Iran have these problems, then they need to solve their own problems. The problem is you don't have enough people to defeat Iran by yourself, so that's why you need help. Pussies. Fucking Israelite pussies. You need our help. You need our backup to fight your Abrahamic wars because you believe that you're more chosen than those people. That's what it's really about. Them people, them Iranians, them Persians, they've been over there way longer than your ass. They've been in the Middle East way longer than you before you came over there causing chaos and thinking that you can run what they've been doing. Nah, we ain't stupid. We know history. We know what happened. We know what really happened 40 something years ago. We know what happened. But we don't stand with Israel over here. We stand with the United States of America. We don't want to help Israel. Israel, go fight your own battles. Shit. You claim to be the chosen people. Why don't you ask God to lead you out of Egypt again? Lead you to victory again. If you the chosen people, ask God to lead you to victory. Don't ask the United States. We don't need to help you out. We got shit over here. We need to worry about our damn self. They sitting up here talking about they pose a threat to the United States. They pose a threat to the United States. What does that got to do with you? You're not helping us. We're helping you. We're helping you. We don't need Israel. We what do our military need Israel for? They don't even produce. We don't need that state. The state of Israel. We don't need. They don't even produce anything. They don't produce nothing in the state of Israel. Who needs Israel? Nobody in the world needs Israel. There's just a bunch of people who think that they're special. There are a bunch of people who think that they're special. They think that they're chosen. They think that they're more special than any other humans on earth, and they're not. And then they come up with these victim cards called anti this, anti that, to try to make everybody feel bad for speaking the truth about their little victimhood, right? So I don't care. Me personally, I don't care. I'm America first. United States of America first. I'm the United States of America first.
Israel and America. But I think if people are honest, if leaders are honest, they would understand that we're not only fighting our fight, we're fighting their fight. I speak to dozens of world leaders, dozens. They all know that. And privately, they all say that.
Who says that's the Holy Land? Y'all be calling shit the Holy Land, and these places are, they don't even, these places don't even produce the most natural shit on earth. But y'all call these places the Holy Land because of you believe in these books, these propaganda books, these literature books that tell you that these people are special, that this land is holy. That land is not more holy than any land across the Suez Canal. Like it's not. It's not even more holier than Ethiopia. It's not even that land in Israel, Jerusalem. It's not even more holier than Kenya. Like, are we serious right now? Like, we talking about land in Africa that produce the most mineral rich, natural resources, the most animals in the world. Like these are the holy lands in Africa. Ain't not no fucking Israel. What? What the hell does Israel produce? Nothing. How is that land holy? Y'all will read a book and just believe anything, but I bet you won't go live on that land. That land don't produce shit. Y'all just crazy.
They say that privately, but I say it publicly. The world owes.
Goddamn, United States is more holier. This land is the more holier than that land. It's more natural and more natural resources than that land. Like what? What is in Jerusalem? What is in Israel? What is there? What do they produce? How mineral rich are they? How mineral rich are they? Huh? Are you dumb as shit? Do you know how many inventions came from Israel? Blah 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 blah. You know how many inventions Israel and the United States stole and claimed that it was theirs? The fuck out of here. Don't shit come from. I'm talking about natural resources. Mineral rich land. That's what I'm talking about. You talking about inventions. Get your stupid ass off my chat. You dumbass. Get your stupid ass out of here. Production has nothing to do with holiness, specifically about the Bible. Have you ever gone to the temple? No, I don't care about the temple. The temple don't mean nothing to me in Israel. What does the temple do for me? The temple in Israel don't mean nothing to me. It does nothing for me. All right. All right. Come back in 86,000 seconds. Come back in 86,000 seconds. How about that? Come back in 86,000 seconds. It's just a place where there's a temple. The reason it's called holy because of a religious sense. religious sense called Holy Land. The Holy Land because of the religious sense. Okay.
A debt of deep indebtedness to President Trump.
You know what holy means? Holy means set apart. It means sacred, set apart, different, separate. That's what that means. That's what holy means.
For
and no, I didn't look it up.
Leading this effort to safeguard our future.
This records conversations better than.
We'll now take a few questions. The first question is from Zach Anders from Newsmax.
Mr. Prime Minister, Zach Anders, Newsmax.
Why is it silence? Why can't we hear the question?
The question is, will the conditions be created for such a change? I think it's too early to say. And I think in the final account, as I said, it's up to the Iranian people to show that, to choose the moment and to rise to the moment. We can create the conditions, but they have to, they have to explode those conditions at a certain point. It is often said that you can't do revolutions from the air. That is true. You can't do it only from the air. You can do a lot of things from the air, and we're doing, but there has to be a ground component as well. There are many possibilities for this ground component, and I take the liberty of not sharing with you all those possibilities.
Would you recognize Pahlavi if the people keep chanting for him in the streets?
Well, I'm not going to say who specifically is going to be there, but I think he's been a force for good. He's been trying to get the people to unite for a transitional government, a democratic.
All right, I'm tired of listening to this devil. I'm tired of listening to this clown. All right, let's go listen to the other clown. Let's go listen to the other clown real quick.
Drone manufacturing's been hit starting today. Operation Epic Fury very successfully. Over the past 9 days, we've carried out some of the most powerful and complex military strikes and maneuvers the world has ever seen. Now, you add that up to all of the other things, Midnight Hammer, getting rid of the nuclear threat from Iran, which was a big moment in history, in my opinion, and the great success we've had in Venezuela and all other places. Every place we've gone, we've had tremendous success. But while we're doing all of these things, we're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective. And some people could say they're pretty well complete. We've wiped every single force in Iran out very completely. Most of Iran's naval power has been sunk. It's on the bottom of the sea. It's almost 50 ships. I was just notified it's 51 ships. I didn't know they had that many. Didn't last very long. And these are fighting.
Appreciate that, Mauro Fuentes. Thank you for subscribing to the channel.
Vessels. They're meant to fight, but they're not meant to fight against us. We continue to target Iran's drone and missile capabilities. Their drones are way down. Their drone manufacturing's been hit starting today. We know all of the places they manufacture the drones, and they're being hit one after another. Their missile capability is down to about 10%, maybe less. We're also hitting where they make missiles and where they.
Understand that this was on March the 9th, y'all. I went back to this press conference for a reason, because did he say that their missile capabilities are down to 10%? Hold on.
Their missile capability is down to about 10%, maybe.
their missile capabilities, it didn't say their missile capabilities are down 10%, like down 10% from what it was. Like maybe it was like 80% and now it's down 10% to 70%. He didn't say that. He said their missile capabilities are down to 10%. This was March the 9th. This was over 2 weeks ago, or just about 2 weeks ago. If their missile capabilities was that low, why are they now sending missiles 4,000 kilometers away to target a nuclear site in Dimona, Israel? Down to 10%. Okay. 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 Sure. Yeah. Okay. Right. Right. Okay.
Less. We're also hitting where they make missiles and where they deliver missiles. We've struck over 5,000 targets to date, some of them very major targets, and we've left some of the most important targets for later in case we need to do it. If we hit them, it's going to take many years for them to be rebuilt, having to do with electricity production and many other things. So we're not looking to do that if we don't have to. But they're the kind of things that are very easy to hit, but very devastating if they are hit. We are waiting to see what happens before we hit them. We could take them all out in one day, but it's all resulting in a 90.
We could take them all out in one day. If we really wanted to, we could take them all out in one day, y'all. If we really wanted to, we could take them all out in one day. Then do it then. Why don't you do it? If you can destroy all of their military capabilities in one day, but no, you need that $200 million $200 billion funding bonus. You need Congress to that's what it is, Chad. He need Congress to approve that 300 and what was it? $200 billion. Yeah, because Iran has exhausted your defense system. They have exhausted your interceptors. That's what's happening here. So you need more money to bring in more military equipment because Iran is whooping your ass right now. That's what's happening. That's what's happening, y'all. He ain't gonna say it, but that's what's happening. Iran is whooping that ass right now. So we need more funding, chat. We need more money, chat. We got to bring in more money.
Percent decline in various things, but in particular, Iranian missile launchers and 83% drop in drone launchers. As you know, the drone launchers are pretty well shot, but we're at over 90% decline in the Iranian missile launchers, which is very hard to reproduce and very hard to get. And usually what we were able to do through great equipment, a lot of smart people, as soon as they sent a missile up from a launcher, we were able to knock out that launcher within a period of 5 minutes or less, accurately right on the noggin. So now we have low-cost interceptors effectively combating Iranian drones, and our B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000.
Y'all see how he had to say that though? Why? I'm telling you, he's being very specific on what he's saying. Very specific on what he's saying. You got to pay attention to every single word that he says. Did anybody catch what he said? So now we have low cost interceptors effectively.
So now we have low-cost interceptors effectively combating
Iranian drones and our B-2
Iranian drones, and our B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound bombs.
He have to say that because they know it costs so much money every time they fire a drone, right? It costs millions of dollars to intercept those drones every time. So he has to throw that out there. Oh, see, we have low cost interceptor that's low cost. No, that shit is not low cost. That's why you're asking for money today. That's why you're asking for $200 billion more, because you need the funding to continue to uh, to to uh, to last in this war. Let's see if Congress is going to actually make that happen. Y'all think Congress is going to approve of the $200 billion dollars? Put a 1 in the chat. Y'all think Congress will approve this $200 billion dollars? Put a 1 in the chat if you really think they will.
To destroy missile launchers all over Iran and buried deep under Iranian soil in many cases. The soil was no match. And we're also annihilating the manufacturing base that the regime uses to build drones and missiles at a rate that nobody thought was possible. We're knocking them out. We know where they all are. We're knocking them out very quickly. We're ahead of our initial timeline by a lot. I would say that we probably would not have thought after a month we'd be here. In addition to the fact that we've taken out the leadership twice and maybe 3 times.
That's the problem. You think that they're trying to destroy the world, and I don't believe that. You believe that because of your propagandist leaders that you believe, right? You're brainwashed by your propagandist leaders, and so you believe that these people are trying to destroy the world. I don't believe that. Hell, Tulsi Gabbard didn't even believe that. Hell, Joe Kent don't even believe that. Hell, a lot of people in the administration don't even believe that, but they're controlled opposition.
And we, as you know, we want to be involved. We don't want another president that maybe wouldn't be willing to do what I'm willing to do for the good of the world, for the good of our nation, to be stuck with the situation in 5 years or 10 years from now. So we think they should put a president in, or the head of the country.
Who told you that, Jake? Jake, who told you that, Jake? Your numbers are off. It's around 8,100 per target intercepted currently. Well, it's not doing a good job. Because they just literally, they're hitting all the targets that they want to hit. They're still hitting. So that these $8,100, you using the cheap interceptors now, right? Your expensive interceptors has been exhausted, right? So you had to move on to your cheap interceptors until what? Until Congress approved the $200 billion so that you can go and get the more expensive interceptors. Is that what it is? My numbers are off. No, my numbers not off. Iran has literally exhausted your interceptor, your military equipment. That's what's happening here. They've exhausted it. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this, clown. Watch this. Watch this real quick, cause I think damn, where you at, my boy? Where is my boy at, man? Scott. I thought Scott put out the video. Scott, where you at? Did you take it down? Let me go find Scott real quick. Scott gonna tell y'all what's going on. Scott gonna tell y'all what's going on real quick, man.
The reason why this decision.
Here we go.
The reason why this.
Let them know what's going on, Scott.
For United Arab Emirates, and so far they haven't bluffed. This is a death sentence for Saudi Arabian oil, for United Arab Emirates oil, Kuwaiti oil, Bahraini oil. Any nation that played a role in this, and you could say it was an Israeli attack, but it was, as you say, coordinated with the United States. The United States is at a minimum culpable and complicit. So all the Gulf Arab nations that did this are going to pay an extraordinary price. Now, maybe the Iranians will make an example of one then tell the rest to, you guys got to get this to stop, or else we're taking everything out. We're not doing it. The next attack, we take everything out. But this one, Saudi Arabia, I'm sorry, you lied to us. You let American airplanes in here. They need to erase Saudi Arabian energy manufacturing. If they don't, then their energy is now going to be erased. And that's the goal of Israel. Because, what's happened, the reason why this decision was made is that this is proof positive that both Israel and the United States now know that regime change is impossible, that the Iranian government is going to last this conflict. And so what they're doing right now is ensuring that the Iranian government, what they govern, is going to be poverty stricken. So they're seeking to do permanent, long-lasting damage to Iran's ability to produce gas and oil and energy and achieve income derived thereof. And Iran has said that we're not going to be the only nation that goes down this way. So I think this is the beginning of one of the biggest mistakes made. But again, now what we've seen is Israel is creating the conditions for global catastrophe. I mean, when is the world?
Israel is creating this condition for global catastrophe. Israel, the holy people, God's chosen people. They're doing this. They're creating this conflict. The devil that the Bible speaks of, literally. They're the ones who creating this conflict. Come on,
World going to
Scott.
realize that the biggest single threat to the entire world is Israel.
What? Wait a minute, Scott. Say that again for the ones in the back, Scott. Say it again for the ones in the back. I don't think they heard you, Scott. Say it again.
But again, now what we've seen is Israel is creating the conditions for global catastrophe. I mean, when is the world going to realize that the biggest single threat to the entire world is Israel? Israel just did something because they're such a pathetic nation. They did something that's going to have ramifications globally. China will be impacted by this. India will be impacted by this. Japan. Because it's not Iranian energy that's being attacked. It's going to be regional energy. It's all related. So this is a very bad development.
All related because you got a percentage of the world, the global percentage of the global economy, the oil coming from over here, Saudi Arabia, percentage coming from the Strait, percentage coming from over here, you know, and Japan get about a large percentage from the Strait. You know, Russia gets a percentage from the Strait. China gets a percentage from the Strait. Like, it's gonna affect everybody, all because of who? Israel. No, he ain't a corrupted traitor. He just speak the truth. He speak the truth, and then y'all have to character assassinate. And that's exactly what you're doing to Joe Kent right now. Joe Kent came out and spoke up for the American people, but you guys believe the character assassination coming from the right, right? You're gonna believe that he was. I bet you believe that he was under investigation for. What did they say? Joe Kent was being investigated for illegal leaking government documents or something like that. Something like that. I don't know. It took him to come out and say something, and then all of a sudden now he's being investigated. And then you hear Fox News say, "Oh, he was being investigated before he actually resigned," which was a lie. They have to say that. They have to say that he was being investigated prior to his resignation to make it seem like that's why he resigned, as opposed to him actually resigning because he don't agree with us helping Israel.
It's a very dangerous development, very disturbing development.
You know, Iran has issued an urgent warning to Saudi Arabia, to UAE, and various points, Jubail, they call it.
I tell you what, I don't know anything, but I bet you know everything, right? I bet you know everything, but I don't know anything. Come on now. Yeah. You just like the right. I know how you guys operate. And y'all know my saying about these right wing extremists, right? They don't hold Donald Trump accountable for anything, but they justify everything. That's a Republican for you. They don't hold anybody on the right accountable, but they justify everything.
Jubail complex, they call it Samref refinery, and in the UAE, Al Hassan gas field, and together with Qatar there is a Mesaid complex that they call it, and is affiliated to the Chevron, and 2 places in Qatar, 2 places in Saudi Arabia, 1 in the UAE, and they said that they're gonna hit, and anybody who's living, nearby should leave the region.
They should. I mean, this is consequences, cause and effect relationship, and I'm actually glad Iran is going to do this, and I hope they hit them hard. I hope that when they finish, this isn't just a token. We're blowing up a few things so we get nice photographs of flames. They need to terminate the energy production capacity at all these facilities, because then what they need to say is, this is what we're going to do to everything if this happens to again. This isn't, tit for tat. You don't get to take out one of our fields and we take out one of yours. We're taking the whole damn system down. And they need to prove that now. Maximum damage done to these facilities, take them off the face of the earth. And because that's the only way you're going to wake people up.
Yeah.
That's the only way. My gas went from $3.11 2 Mondays ago to $3.79 today, and it's going to be it's going to be. I bet you.
Shit, fuck it. Fuck it, dog. You gonna take out our shit. We gonna take out everybody's. Fuck that. Like, no, we're not about to be the only one that go down, and y'all just sit and watch the United States commit war crimes. The world is watching them, that the United States and Israel started this war, right? With no real proof of an imminent threat to anybody, right? But you want Iran to just sit there and take these illegal strikes. Take take us destroying their hospitals, their schools, their banks, right? Unaliving 168 little girls, right? You want us to just sit there and watch. What you want the world to just sit, since the world is just sitting there watching, no one is helping out or coming to our aid or believing anything that we say. Nah, nah, you gonna take out ours, we gonna take out yours. Literally, we gonna shut the global economy down. That's how we gonna fight this war. Systematically, however you say that word. That's how we gonna fight this war. Scott is absolutely right. Absolutely right. No lies detected. No lies detected.
Way you're going to wake people up. That's the only way. My gas went from $3.11 2 Mondays ago to $3.79 today, and it's going to be it's going to be. I bet you it's $3.85 before the day is over. I remember last time I went through one of these, I would go in and watch the gas station change the price throughout the day because that's just the way it is. This is the only way you're going to wake American people up, European people, the people of the world up, is by hitting their pocketbook. Because they don't care about Iranians. Nobody cares for the fact that to kill Ali Larijani and his son, they took out an entire city block. That's a war crime. It is the literal definition of war crime. This is what the Nazis did. And yet they did it, and we're bragging about it, saying, yeah, it's a good thing. Nobody cares. So you're not going to impress. Hell, we bombed a school, double tapped a school, killed 175 girls. Nobody cares. That's how disgusting we are as human beings. We only care about ourselves. Okay, Iran, now it's time to hit the buttons to make us care about ourselves. Bring the pain home. You clearly didn't get to our hearts because we have hearts of stone. No tears shed for those girls, no tears shed for the 100 people that died so you could say you killed Ali Larijani, not recognizing that killing him doesn't change a damn thing. That the institution still exists. There are people to replace him, and he just goes down as a martyr, motivating the people who replaced him. Take out the oil fields. It's time for Iran to put the pedal to the metal and take the damn oil fields out. The other thing I would do if I were Iran is I would tell the nations that we're getting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, no more tankers. We're complete shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz. We're bringing the pain. And it's time to bring the pain. And if India goes, "What? We didn't do anything," you say, "Yes, India, you did. You didn't do a damn thing."
That's the problem. That is literally the problem, right? The fact that you didn't do nothing. You didn't do a damn thing. You just, like you said, the world just sitting there watching this war crime take place, right? The United States and Israel is breaking international law. They're committing war crimes. They're hitting innocent civilians, right? They're unaliving school children, right? This is literally the world is watching this happening, and they're not doing anything about it. That's the point. That's the problem. That is the problem. And the fact that people hold, just because we're United States we're Americans, right? The fact that we hold these people accountable this administration accountable and we don't agree with this war, right? All of a sudden now we're traitors, right? Because we don't want to be on the wrong side of history. No, I'm not going to be on the wrong side of history. You can. You can believe the bullshit propaganda that you're being brainwashed by Fox News. You're being brainwashed by these same talking points from Netanyahu and Donald Trump every single day. You're being brainwashed by this guy with a funny ass last name called Hegseth, whatever the fuck his last name is. I don't know. Hegseth. His head is sick. Whatever his name should be, Pete Headsick. That's his name. His head is sick, right? You believe the propaganda, you can do that, right? You're going to be on the wrong side of history. I'm sorry, hate to tell you. You are going to be on the wrong side of history. In the world, that's why these European nations are not assisting the United States. They're not. Why would they? They don't even believe the bullshit. But you Americans, you believe the bullshit because you're stupid. Not all of you. I'm talking about the ones who fall for the propaganda, who fall for the bullshit every single day, who fall for the same catchphrases that Donald Trump put out there every day, the same talking points every single day. He don't say anything different, right? He say the same shit every day, whether it's the SAVE Act, whether it's ICE agents, whether it's Iran. Now more so Iran. Now we brought their missile capabilities down to 10%. Bullshit, bullshit. You listen to the same bullshit every single day and you choose to believe it. That's how I know you're stupid. That's how I know you're remedial. You're slow.
You didn't do anything to stop this. You still have good relations. You're still talking to Israel like they're your brothers. They're not. They're the
Oh, if you don't like it here, leave. We voted for Trump and love the UFC. That's the most racist, dumbass talking point that you guys can never let go. If you don't like it here, leave. If you don't like it here, leave. That's the most that's the oldest whitest talking point I've ever heard in my life. You don't like it here, leave. How about your white ass leave? How about your ass leave? Go back to your European country. Go back to the fucking Caucasus Mountains. Go back somewhere. You don't belong here either. You leave. Y'all kill me with that. You don't like it here, leave. Like you were here first. That shit crazy as hell.
people that are murdering us every day of the week, and you want us to do business with you? It's time for Iran to play that card.
Yep.
And they need to tell the Russians and the Chinese it's time for the Russians and Chinese to step up their game too.
Yep.
Because this is going to have a dire impact, especially on China.
Yep.
China's looking at their future right now. There's going to be a big old hiccup right now because even if they start buying energy from Russia, you don't have the ability, you don't have the throughput capacity to get all that energy there. China, and Iran has to say, sorry, brother. I know we're sort of hurting you, but hey, Pete Hegseth says there's 1,000 places in Iran that go boom a day. What are you doing to stop that? Nothing. So you need to do more. Otherwise, as we go down, so do you.
Yep.
But they need to.
And it's really about to go down because they're trying to get them an ultimatum now. They're trying to give them an ultimatum to, they're trying to give Iran an ultimatum now. So what is Russia and China going to do? They're all in communication with Iran, right? Surely they know Iran needs some type of assistance. So what are they going to do? They're going to just sit there and continue to watch all of these illegal strikes coming from Israel and the United States, bombing these civilians places, bombing these hospitals, bombing these schools, bombing these nuclear sites, right? Bombing their missile capabilities, right? Are they going to sit back and just watch, or what? Are they going to what are they going to do in these next 48 hours?
They need to bring the pain. The other thing, by shutting the Strait of Hormuz, it ends once and for all the notion that the United States, right now, by the limited traffic, you have the United States claiming that it's because of them. We did this. We're the ones that sat there and made the Iranians say, we might as well let some traffic through because America's right there threatening us. No. What Iran did is prove that they're in control. Only Iran decides what gets through the Strait of Hormuz. And right now, the Iranians need to decide that nothing gets through the Strait of Hormuz. Nothing.
Scott, Saudi Arabia and all these Arab states are in some sort of panic. Saudi Arabia, will host a foreign ministers meeting in Riyadh today. And the Turkish diplomat reported on that they're going to have Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Egypt.
Hey, somebody subscribe to the channel, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. He wants 200 billion for more war.
Jordan, Kuwait, Pakistan, Qatar, Syria, and Turkey all together coming in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. We know that Azerbaijan is so much important for Israel. I don't know if Iran would do something in that direction, or all these countries coming together would make some sort of move in that direction. And how do you see all the capabilities of these countries?
To do what? I mean, the thing is, as Saudi Arabia hosts this meeting, they're going to lose an oil field. How's that feel, Saudi Arabia? And as the UAE sends their representative, they're going to lose an oil field. And Qatar is going to lose a natural gas field. This is the reality. So what are they going to do? Come together and tell what? We're going to threaten Iran? Hey, dude, they're already losing 1,000 points on the map a day getting blown up by America. You're going to bring in your pathetically small military and make it 1,020? You think the additional 20 targets you can hit a day is going to change what's going on? I mean, this is the pathetic reality of these Arab nations. They have sold their souls to the devil. They have sold their soul to the devil. The United States and Israel calling the shots. And now they're going to come together to do what? If they don't come together and say the one thing that has to be said, America, get the out of our neighborhood. Get out. You're done. We're done with you. You lied to us. You betrayed us. You set us up. All this is because of you. And Israel, stop. Or see everybody here? Count the bodies. Count the airplanes. We'll come in and
Cool Diver, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Cool Diver, thank you.
we'll erase you from the planet. It's time for nations to step up and just tell Israel, remind them how small they are and how pathetic they are and how inconsequential they are. Israel right now is shooting its load into Iran, and they're blowing up some places on the ground, but they're not changing anything. The missiles still come in and hit Israel on a daily basis. Hezbollah is slaughtering Israeli troops in southern Lebanon. I mean, go ahead, Israel, mobilize 450,000. They'll all die too. Hezbollah is better at this business than you are. You're on their turf, and they will slaughter you, and you don't want to fight. That's the other thing, is the Israelis don't believe in this mission anymore. They only believe in it when it's pain free. It ain't pain.
Damn, Hezbollah is Yo, Scott is not holding back any punches right now. He said Hezbollah is destroying Israel right now in southern Lebanon. Destroying them. I don't know how true that is. I'm not in southern Lebanon, so I don't really know how true that is. But apparently Scott has some insight. They can't lie about the media. Is Netanyahu the worst press? His brain is small, said Justin. But your brain is big, right? You're smarter than he is. You know more than he do, right?
Pain free anymore. There's a lot of pain attached to this. So they need to put the pressure on the right places. They need to put the pressure on the United States and on Israel. If they try to put any pressure on Iran, what does Iran care? I mean, what are you going to do? Kill the next Larzani? Kill the president? I'm sure the president cares. I don't think he wants to die, but Iran could care less. They have institutions. This is about it. You're fighting a nation. You're not fighting individuals. And so, and as opposed to the majority of those people gathering, those are families. Those are monarchies. They're not nations. Most of the people gathering there are the heads of, families that run countries, but they're not part of the nation. The nation didn't vote for them. And these are corrupt individuals who have robbed their own people blind to enrich themselves. And so when they come together to speak, they're not speaking on behalf of the people. They're speaking on behalf of their own selfish interests. There's only a few nations where you could actually say, I mean, Erdogan, I think, speaks for the Turkish nation. Jolani, who does he speak for? I mean, who's they going to send? Another head chopper? You know, again, none of the Gulf Arab states are democratic. None of them. They're all these autocratic, corrupt, morally corrupt, and economically corrupt individuals who the world would be better off if they didn't exist. And maybe that'll be one of the consequences of this war, is the erasure of these corrupt families that were put in place by the British.
Not the British.
None of them earned this. They didn't come in and, these aren't people that came in and went, hello, we've discovered this great country and we're going to lead by being intellectually sound and morally correct, and we're going to build things. They came in and chopped heads off, and one day a camel went out and pissed in the desert and some oil came up. They went, ugh, that's not very good tasting. Why don't we hire a foreigner who's smart? And in comes the British and Americans, say, that's oil. Well, what do we need to do? Not a damn thing. You just sit back there on your camel in your tent, smoke your pipe, and we will bring the oil out of the ground and we'll throw some money your way and then we'll take it. And that's how it got developed. These guys didn't do anything.
That's true, Scott. At the end of the day, that's true. But we taught them how to build those or how to do those things though with the oil. We taught them how to extract it though. We taught them. We came in and set up shop back in the 50 years ago. BP went in and set up shop and taught these people how to do these things. And then when they found out that the United States was pimping their ass, getting majority of the money, they was like, shit, we can do this shit ourselves. And they realized they wasn't making the majority of the money. The United States was making most of the money. They said, this is our land. And you can leave now. Thank you for teaching us how to do this, but you can leave now. Bye-bye. We no longer need your services. And that's when things went south.
They didn't do anything except chop off some heads. Other people developed the industry. Now they've inherited it, and they have this structure in place where they make all the money. Ask the UAE, though, what's the percentage of Emirati people in their military? 15%. 85% of the UAE military is mercenaries, mainly Pakistani. They don't know how to fight. When they build a building, are the Emirati men out there rolling up their sleeves, getting sunburn, constructing? Hell no. They're in an air-conditioned office, fat, smoking dope, and spending oil money. Other people come in and do the work for them. These aren't good people. These aren't good nations. They don't stand for anything worthwhile. They hide behind a facade of intellectualism. We've built the new Louvre in the Middle East. The UAE built that Louvre lookalike. What's going to happen when all your oil fields are blown up and you got no more money and nobody's coming to your stupid piece of desert patch? You have no water because the desalination plants are going to be blown up, and that building's going to be empty. Nobody's going to visit. Was it the Burj or whatever? The one that Tom Cruise jumped off of or climbed. That'll be empty. Making those little palm islands so you can see from the sky, look down on it. That will be eroded away because nobody will be maintaining it. And that'll happen to all of these fake little desert countries, because when they lose their energy, they lose everything. They've got nothing.
Even Qatar? Yeah, probably. Even Qatar. 100% back to the people of the world. Exactly. Shut it down. We were getting our own oil and blah, blah, blah. Armageddon.
Nothing. Dubai had a banking industry. That's gone. Think the expatriates are going to hang out in Dubai from now on? That has been exposed the way it is? No. They need stability. Long-term stability. And these Gulf Arab nations can no longer guarantee long-term stability. And so it's over for them. This is a panicked meeting that you're going to be seeing in Riyadh right now. A panicked meeting.
Scott, you mentioned the desalination. Do you think that we are headed toward desalination plants? Because that could be a huge catastrophe for the whole region.
Fuck this, y'all are lost cause. This is why the lion doesn't bother to argue with the donkey. You have no idea what's going on, do you? I do. You just got timed out for 86,000 seconds for coming in here assuming shit with your stinking ass. Get your dumb ass off my channel. Go wash your ass this morning. Now you can't type in the chat for 86,000 seconds. Yeah, that's 1,433 minutes. Come back tomorrow, dumbass.
And Iran doesn't suffer from desalination. If
Y'all can come in here and talk that shit and think you got freedom of speech, not knowing that I control your freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. I control that. I control whatever you want. You can't say whatever you want to say here. I control your freedom of speech. You can't say shit. Well, you can talk, yeah, but you start talking shit, I can get rid of your dumb ass. Fuck your freedom of speech. It means nothing to me at all. I don't care about your freedom of speech. Go argue with Congress or somebody.
that goes, the escalation goes in that direction. But we know that the Arab
But keep on insulting me, I'm gonna get your ass up out of here.
states, together with Israel is dependent more than 75% on desalination plants.
That's one of the last steps, because now you're talking about the erasure of a nation. Without water, you've got nothing. And there is no plan B for water.
All right, you're the greatest. Let's move on. Now you telling me what to do on my fucking channel? I love this shit. You better read my fucking description. You better go read my fucking description. You coming on my channel telling me what to do, telling me to move on, trying to dictate my show. 86,000 seconds. Come back tomorrow. 86,000 seconds. Better understand what they call me. Go read my description. Understand that. Use your brain. Use your brain before you come in here talking that nonsense. Now your ass typing in the chat and you can't say nothing now, huh? It's telling you, what is it telling you? You've been timed out. Sorry, you've been timed out. You can't say nothing right now. Come back tomorrow. 86,000 seconds. 86. Yep. Matter of fact, I won't even time you out, blue green. I'll block you. Like you asked me to block you, you just got blocked. There you go. You just got blocked. Somebody said black. You just got blocked too. How about that? How about that? How about that? Be careful what you ask for. I know because you have a trolling spirit. You want to be here. Like I know you love watching me. You want to be in the chat and you want to be able to troll me. And now you can't troll me because I'm the controller. I control the trolls. So now you can't troll me no more. You can't troll me no more. I control your freedom of speech. I'm the controller. All right.
There is no plan B for water. And so that's the next step. And I believe at the end of the day, if these nations don't stop doing what they're doing to Iran, Iran will erase them as civilized nations by destroying their desalination plants. If I were the Iranians, I would actually take out Israeli desalination plants now, right now. End Israel right now. Just end it. Just take it out, end it.
Scott do not like Israel, y'all. Scott do not like Israel, and guess what, Scott? I'm with you. I do not think that these people are special. I don't know why we helping these people. They don't provide no benefit to us at all. So Scott, I'm right there. I don't hate them like you do, Scott. I know you hate these people, but I damn sure do not like these people. I don't. And they're not special at all to me. They're not special chosen people to me. But Scott cannot stand Israel at all. He can't. He cannot stand their ass.
Israel might have a plan B. They might be able to ship in water because Europe, no one's going to let the Jews die. So they're going to ship in water and all that. Fine, but that'll be their life from now on. Foreign sources of water, tankers pointing off, Israeli people, lining up to get, like Gazans, to pump water into their pot to take home, and and all that. Good. Make that Israel's future. No more running water in pipes. Blow up the desalination plants and eliminate it. And Hezbollah, go ahead and take Shabbat farms and shut off the Jordan River source. Cut it out. End it. Make the Dead Sea dead. Make Israel over. Israel needs to cease to exist. It is literally the cancer on the planet.
goodness. He said that. He said that, y'all. I didn't say it. He said it. He said they need to cease to exist. They are the cancer on the planet. Damn.
Hezbollah, go ahead and take Shabbat Farms and shut off the Jordan River source. Cut it out. End it. Make the Dead Sea dead. Make Israel over. You know, Israel needs to cease to exist. It is literally the cancer on the planet. And Iran could do that by blowing up desalinization plants. I think they might want to give the Gulf Arab states another shot. But at some point in time, you at least pick one. I'd pick the UAE because I just hate them. Erase them. Blow up all their desalinization plants and make the country disappear. All the expatriates will leave. All the foreigners will leave, and then those UAE Bedouins, well, they'll have to sit there and do what? Do what? Drink oil? Good luck. They deserve it. And this is hopefully what they're talking about in Riyadh is we're screwed. We're screwed. We're heading to the apocalypse. And again, when they say they don't care about their people. They only care about themselves.
Just like the elites in the United States, Scott. The elite class in the United States don't care about the people either. They care about enriching themselves. They care about their billionaire friends. That's it. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing here. In a way, the elite families, right? The Rothschilds and all them folks. The people who run the banks. Same shit here, sir. That's why we can spend billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars on these other countries. Meanwhile, our people over here are struggling. They're over here struggling, Scott. And they see it. They see it. Every day they see it. They see our people struggling. They see our people dealing with certain things. Healthcare is ridiculous. The most ridiculous healthcare system in the world, right? We charge an arm and a leg for shit you can just go overseas to another country for and get it for more than half the price. It's crazy. It's crazy.
About their family, about the monarchy. I really enjoyed reading about what happened to the Hashemites in Iraq. And I'll let the people Google that to figure out what I mean. But I don't really mean that because nobody wants to see families hacked up and dragged through the streets. But, when you take these families that have no legitimacy whatsoever and you put them in charge and they are this corrupt, maybe they need the Hashemite solution.
We almost at 100 likes. We almost at 100 likes, guys. Get the likes up. We need 3 more likes. We almost at 100 likes. Thank you guys for being here right now. Thank you guys for being here. We got almost 400 people in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody, man.
Which could become the Hashemite solution, a Mon version, which would be nice.
Now we're going to move on, right? Now we're going to move on. Now we're going to move on from this. What's up, Sweet Chili? I just realized, Sweet Chili, what's going on? Come on. Iran is Persia. Iran is 4,000 years old. Iran was fighting Rome 2,000 years ago, right? We're going to move on from this, guys. Also, man, make sure you tread lightly when you come in here talking shit to me. Understand, you don't know my position. So if you just came in here and you just literally came in and you already talking shit and you haven't been here for the entirety of the show, just tread lightly, man. You might not even understand where I'm coming from or where my position on anything. Just sit back and be patient. Use your brain before you get fucking timed out for 86,000 seconds just for being impatient. You might get timed out for 1,433 minutes, man. Seriously.
For everybody.
You might do that. Just be careful, bro. Tread lightly. I'm nothing to play with. All right? Nothing to play with.
The world is now reeling under what the Americans have called Operation Epic Fury.
Operation
When
Epic
history is
Fury.
written, it may very well be said that Operation Epic Fury was a solution that is worse than the problem. Worse than the problem because it is an attempt to enforce what is characterized as peace.
It depends on who write the history, but the way technology is now and today, it's gonna be hard for Iran. It's gonna be hard for the United States and Israel to control the narrative behind what they're trying to do in modern time. It's gonna be hard. It might be lied about in our history books later on, but the world will know the truth. That's why a lot of people are not coming to the aid of the United States. That's why a lot of these European nations are not trying to help the United States, right? But the world will know the truth. The world will know the truth, and we're gonna be on the right side of history over here. You don't have to be, but we will be.
By humiliation. And history is consistent, particularly in the Middle East, that all attempts at enforcing peace by humiliation have failed. The Americans themselves will remember the Camp David Accords, which gave birth to the Nobel Peace Prizes for Anwar al-Sadat and Menachem Begin. They'll remember the 1993 Oslo Accords, which also gave birth to Nobel Peace Prizes for Yasser Arafat, Shimon Peres, and Yitzhak Rabin. And they will also remember what they are now referring to, the Abrahamic Accords of the year 2020 and 2021. All these have been attempts by the American administration, successive American administration, to enforce peace on the terms of Israel. The net effect, of course, is that all those who are involved in the peace processes are humiliated, and any purported peace that is based on humiliation and domination never lasts. Iran is unique in the region, unique that it is the center of the Shia sect of Islam. The majority of the population in the Middle East are Sunnis. And in that sense, there is a sense in which there has always been undercurrents that are informed by what I call political Islam. And I use this term very deliberately. And we will remember that in the 1970s, in the 50s rather, 50s through to the 70s, 60s, and then to the 70s.
Remind us what happened. Remind us what happened. 5344. Leave Iran and the rest of the world alone. Blah blah blah. They hate Jesus in the land he was. Jesus was born upon. USA would defend that land. Bless, 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 bless. Ay, 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 ay.
The Iranian administration by the Pahlavi regime was a regime that was pro-America and pro-West. In 1907,
If Jesus was born on that land, he was born on that land way before 1948. And trust and believe, he didn't look like the people that's on that land today. He didn't look like the people who's in that land today. Understand that. So don't nobody hate that land, or don't nobody hate Jesus at all. Understand that. The people who own the land don't even represent Jesus Christ. What are you talking about? They don't even represent Jesus Christ. They don't even believe in Jesus Christ. Y'all, you Christians, sometimes y'all be supporting these people and they don't even accept who you accept. They don't even believe that you gotta accept Christ to make it to heaven. But y'all defend these people.
1979, when Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini and the patriarchs of the Shia regime took over and created a theocracy, they actually took the view that the state of Israel was illegitimate and they have never recognized the state of Israel. So there has been this underlying hatred for this administration as an administration whose design is to obliterate Israel from the face of the earth. That is as far as Israel is concerned. But the Americans also have a problem. They have a problem that in 1979, during the Carter administration, the Americans were humiliated in Tehran. And I think from their perspective, there has always been a desire to have war in the narrow sense and in the overall scheme. I listened to the Secretary of State.
You mean he looked like you and the people from Kenya to the poor farmers they slaughter? I don't know who he looked like. I ain't never seen Jesus. I don't know who he looked like, to be honest with you. The Bible don't say what he looked like. And don't you go to Revelations 1 and 14. That is not no damn description of
Of the United
that is
States.
not a earthly description of Jesus Christ. So don't nobody know what Jesus Christ in modern times don't nobody know what he looked like. So we don't know if he looked like the man on the screen. We don't know if he looked like people in Iran. We don't know if he was. We know he wasn't them. The people in Israel today, because they're a new nation. We know he wasn't them, but we don't know if he looked like the people of Kenya. We don't know. We don't know. We just don't know. And don't go to Revelations 1 and 14. That is not an earthly description of Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's get on. All right, y'all. It's almost 5 a.m. man. I'm finna cut this thing. I wanted to get into some more stuff real quick before I cut the live. You guys can go ahead and, we're gonna talk about a few things real quick before I cut the live. We already went over this. Um, let's see here. We talked about the people that were injured in southern Israel. We talked about that already. Uh, let's see. We read over this already. Trump threatens them. Targeting of the key Gulf energy infrastructure raises the risk of long-term disruption. They've literally been talking about all this stuff. I got the articles and stuff to back it up, but they've been talking about all this. Escalating attacks on key oil and gas facilities in the Persian Gulf have increased the risk um, of an extended bout of higher prices for everything from gasoline to electricity to computer chips and food. Iran launched strikes on key Gulf infrastructures Thursday in retaliation for an Israeli attack on a natural gas field that supplies most of the country's natural gas. The tit-for-tat attacks have raised fears that the initial price rise or price shock at the start of the war may become more entrenched. And this is coming from the Associated Press. This article right here came from the Associated Press. Gulf countries have already cut productions at oil wells after the risk of Iranian strikes blocked most of the tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, leaving the oil no place to go. Even if the Strait of Hormuz becomes safe for oil tankers to transit soon, it will be some time before oil and gas begin flowing again due to the complexity of restarting refineries and other facilities. If energy infrastructure has been damaged by the ongoing attacks, it will take even longer. All right, so Asia is getting hit uh, hard as most of the oil and gas exiting the strait is transported there. So, government officials in the Philippines are now open only 4 days, or government offices open 4 days a week, and there are directives to limit the use of AC. Vietnam has urged people to work from home. Damn, it's getting that bad in Asia? Damn, it's going crazy. And it's not just oil and gas. Key raw materials like helium, used in making computer chips, and sulfur, a raw material in fertilizer, have been obstructed and could be in short supply soon, raising the prices of goods all the way down the supply chain. Donald Trump is literally about to put us in a recession, y'all. Donald Trump is literally about to put us in another recession. It's going to affect our country and it's going to affect the global economy as well. All right. Jesus is blonde and blue eyes like America. That's funny as hell. It's crazy. It's wild. Let me just do this real quick. Let me make sure y'all can see the entire thing. Let me make sure y'all can see the entire thing real quick. Let me put that over here. Cause I want this to be over that way. Alright. Alright, so here are key refineries, terminals, and other infrastructure that has been targeted. South Pars gas field, Iran. Pars is the world's largest natural gas. Let me make sure. Damn, did I move that over too far? Jeez. I gotta make sure this thing is actually coming. Thank you guys for hitting the like button, man. We about to get up out of here in a minute. All right, so South Pars is the world's largest natural gas field and is split between Iran and Qatar. The portion controlled by Qatar is called North Field. South Pars, um, and we're right here actually. Make sure you guys can see that. South Pars supplied the bulk of natural gas used to heat homes and generate electricity in Iran. So, an Israeli strike at facilities connected to the field at Al-Solaya led to Iranian threats to attack oil and gas sites in other Gulf countries. Iran already struggles at times to produce enough electricity. The loss of natural gas from South Pars would make life worse for the civilian population. So, U.S. President Donald Trump said that Israel would not attack South Pars again, but warned on social media that if Iran continued striking Qatar's energy infrastructure, the U.S. would retaliate and massively blow up the entirety of the fields. So, uh, that's happening too right now. So, we're not going to read that entire thing. You guys can go find that on the Associated Press if you want to read that article. All right. And so that's another article right here that talks about the helium that we read about, the helium output threatening global tech supply chains. So from Iran halts Qatar helium output. So Iran is fighting a different type of war here. So let's get into this real quick before we go ahead and cut the live, guys. It's already 5 o'clock, and I want to talk about this real quick. But let me just bring this down to that should be good right there. So new polls reveal wide gap between potential Democratic candidate in 2028. All right, so let me see. Make sure you guys can read that. All right, so California Governor Gavin Newsom holds a commanding lead over former Vice President Kamala Harris among California Democrats considering potential 2028 presidential candidates, but his overall results suggest an uncertain path forward. According to polls results released Friday by the UC Berkeley Institute of Governmental Studies, Newsom captured 28% of registered voters as their first choice for the Democratic nomination, while Harris garnered just 9% support in her home state, trailing not only the governor but also U.S. Representative AOC, Alexandria Cortez, representing parts of Queens and the Bronx, and former Transportation Secretary Pete uh, I don't know how to say his name. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do not know how to say his name. All right. So the poll surveyed. You'll get it right here. The poll surveyed 5,019 California registered voters online in English and Spanish from March 9th to March 14th, with a margin of error of 2.5 percentage point. The gap widens when second choice preferences are included. Newsom draws 42% support when combining both first and second choice voters, while Harris received 20%. Okay, Newsom also leads Harris amongst African American voters by 12% percentage point. 49% to 37%. The governor draws his strongest support from older Latino male voters. All right. Less than half of Californians, 48%, approve of Newsom's job performance as governor, down from 51% in August. His disapproval rating climbed by 5% percentage point during the same period. All right. So Mark DeCamio, director of Berkeley IGS poll, told the LA Times that Newsom's support level is concerning, given that roughly a quarter of voters in his own state view him as their top choice. So whew, the Democrats might be in trouble coming up in the next presidential election. I don't know if somebody do not emerge out of the Democratic Party in 2020, by the end of 2026 going into 2027, if somebody do not like emerge, they're in trouble, man. They're in trouble. And quite frankly, bro, I'm not even sold on Gavin Newsom. I'm not sold on Gavin Newsom. I never was sold on Kamala Harris. Never was. Not because she's a woman, just because I just I don't know. She just seemed kind of fake to me. She just didn't seem like a genuine candidate, and that's just in my opinion. But AOC, like I don't even know about AOC. I don't know AOC. She don't. That's. Are we serious? Is she really running? Is she's really a potential candidate for presidency, bro? We can't be serious. We can't be serious. No, just no, just no. So somebody has to emerge, chat. Somebody has to emerge. Somebody has to emerge. Oh, speaking of Bernie, I actually have a video from Bernie real quick. Let me go play that real quick. Speaking of Bernie, we have a video from Bernie. We have a video from Canada doubles down on China deal. Man, I had a bunch of stuff to get into that I just didn't get into. I didn't even get into the Save America Act, right? I did not get into that. Matter of fact, yeah, let's get into that real quick. Let's get into that real quick. Let's hear what the Republicans got to say, and then we'll hear what the Democrats got to say about this bill passing, that it needs to pass. They held a press conference about this, so let's listen to the GOP senators calling for Save America Act passage ahead of the debate. Let's hear from these guys. Hear from GOP
Getting
guys.
hard and getting turned on are not the same thing.
That is why Blue Chew Gold was created. Science.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you all for joining us on this fine Saturday. As you all know, we are in the middle of a spirited and lengthy.
AOC would never be president. I'm sorry. She would never be president. I hate to tell you that. She would get destroyed in the debate. Literally, she would get destroyed in a debate. She's not a good debater. She's just not. She just need to continue to work in the background. She don't need to work. She don't need to run for president. She can't handle the heat. She will get destroyed in a debate. Literally.
Debate on the Save America Act. It's a piece of common sense legislation.
And And quite frankly, if you can't debate, you're gonna make yourself look foolish. And then when she look foolish in a debate, it's gonna just be bad. It's gonna make it look like she don't know what she's talking about. So, nah, she's not a good candidate, in my opinion.
That we think is overwhelmingly supported by the American people, and we intend to keep pushing forward and ensure that the American people know whether their senators are for or against ensuring that only American citizens vote in American elections. You've probably heard some falsehoods coming out of the Democrats throughout the course of the week. Probably paramount among those was when Leader Schumer answered a question and said, well, we're not really opposed to photo ID. That was quickly dispelled when we had an opportunity to vote or to respond to a proposal put forward by the senator from Ohio.
Yes, I have listened to AOC speak truth. I have listened to her. I'm not against her, guys. I'm not against her. Okay, I don't dislike her. I don't dislike her. I'm not against her. But do I think she'll be a president or she's good for presidency? No. And that's okay. We can agree to disagree, bro. It don't have to y'all be having special love for these people. Y'all don't even be knowing these people. Y'all be having an affinity for these people. Y'all don't know them, never met them. Like, bro, I just don't think she'll be a good candidate. It's cool. It's cool. It is what it is. Maybe I'll be proved wrong. If I'm proved wrong, then it's fine. It's still fine. But she just don't. She don't come off as. She come off as a person who's good at studying and can pass a test, but she's not really intellectual. Like she's not really a critical thinker. She's just good at passing a test. She can read a book and tell you the answers. That's what she come off as, right? She's not even a she man. I'm not even gonna go there, bro. She just look like she can read and quote. That's it. Or that's how she sounds sometimes. Like she's box office. Like she's book smart. That's it. She's not intelligent. She book smart. I didn't want to go there, but I went there because y'all have an affinity for her. Like she just so talented. Like bro, sit down. Sit down. She's not all that.
Senator Husted that would have passed essentially photo ID only, limited it to that one issue. And the Democrats not only blocked it, but their counterproposal was a piece of legislation that would actually specifically ban photo ID nationwide. So they're not serious about this issue, but they are clearly on the wrong side of the American people. So as we press forward in this debate, we look forward to continue to highlight the differences of opinion we have between our colleagues on the Democrat side of the aisle, but to ensure that the American people fully know who is and who is not for ensuring that only American citizens vote in our elections in this country. That's what this debate is all about. It's very simple, it's very straightforward, really nothing more, nothing less. But that's the at the end of the day, that's the vote, that's the question Democrats here in the Senate are going to have to answer, and we intend to make them do that. Senator Brasso.
10 million illegal immigrants flooded into this country while Joe Biden was president and the Democrats were in charge of the Senate. And now Democrats want to make it easier for them to have an influence in our elections in the United States.
That's a lie. That's a lie, bro. Just pass the Save America Act, bro. Just pass it. You don't have to like just argue real facts and give us a real um like you don't have to lie or try to create some type of propaganda just to pass this act, bro. Just give us real facts and issues about it. Like Joe Biden allowed 11 million people in here to try to influence the vote. Really? To try to influence the vote? Really? Bro, come on, man. Come on, man. And your borders are still not secure today. They're not. And we know that for a fact because we're always down at the southern border. We know what's going on. We know Border Patrol, y'all. I told y'all this yesterday. Border Patrol is just doing this every day down there in El Paso and down there in Eatonburg, down there coming out of right before Edinburgh, just coming down out of southern border. They just like passing all the trucks through, just like this. It's all right, buddy. Just we don't have to check your trailer. We don't have to check your license. That's fine. Just come on through. That's what they're doing. This is Krusty Gnome's Border Patrol. Krusty Gnome's her Border Patrol just doing this all day. Come on through. Just come on through. Just come on through. So Trump is allowing people to get in here too. He doing the same shit. You mean to tell me if the Border Patrol is that laxed, you don't think people are getting through them? Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. I seen it with my own eyes.
I believe only citizens of this country ought to vote in American elections, and
we believe only citizens are to vote. It's been the belief. It's illegal for it's illegal. It's against our it's against the law, literally, for non-U.S. citizens to vote in our elections. That's been what are we trying to do here? That's been the case.
I believe you need to show and prove you are who you say you are with a photo ID.
They do that when you go register to vote. You have to show and prove who you are when you register to vote, right? You have to prove that you are a United States citizen when you register to vote. Literally, when I moved to Kansas, I had to show, I had my birth certificate, I had to have my birth certificate and my social security card to prove that I was a United States citizen to register to vote. This is before the Save America Act. So I don't understand. Like, what are we talking about? I had to do that already. What are we talking about? Literally, this is already being done. So what are GOP? What are y'all pushing, bro? They just making shit up in thin air and just like trying to. I don't know. These people sometimes are just so disingenuous, man. Literally.
In order to vote. It's common sense. You have to show a photo ID to board a plane, to buy a beer. Why not to vote? It's overwhelmingly popular with the American people. They agree you need to show a photo ID in order to vote. You know, the Save America Act.
So what are they trying to do? They're trying to set it up at voting polls or something? What? Because I think that when you register to vote, you have to do that. You already have to show proof of citizenships in order to register to vote. You gotta show proof. You gotta have that birth certificate and that social security card. So what, you want them to bring the birth after they register to vote because you don't trust the local system. So what, when they show up to the polls now, you want them to bring that same said birth certificate and social security card there and show that you want them to double prove it? Like, what are we doing here, guys? What is the purpose of the Save America Act? Is it for them to double prove that they are citizens, or what? They have to do it when they register, and then they have to do it when they show up to the polls. Like, what's the point? I don't get it. What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? People don't have a problem showing their IDs. People don't have a problem showing their IDs. They don't have a problem.
As we're talking about here and have been through the week on the floor of the United States Senate, it is the only way that we can make sure we have safe and secure elections that reflect the viewpoints of the American people. But what the Democrats are doing, they are standing with the extreme minority who say you shouldn't have to show a photo ID. They're also standing with the extreme minority that don't believe we need a Department of Homeland Security because they continue to vote to keep it closed. Every one of them is now on the record. The Democrats in the United States Senate are standing on the side of open borders and illegal voters. Senator Langford.
So this is the challenge that we face today. We have Department of Homeland Security closed right now because apparently my Democratic colleagues are more afraid of ICE than they are of Iran. And the challenges that we face now in the conflict internationally, that we know that we have threats back in the homeland, but my Democratic colleagues in the Senate just refuse to even pay attention to that at all. Stacked on top of that is the issue we've been talking about for weeks, and we're still working through this weekend to be able to negotiate, and that is the most basic thing in American life, voting. The 1965 Voting Rights Act begins with all citizens. This should not be controversial. It is already federal law that requires only citizens vote in the United States. We trust that they sign up as only citizens, but we're not verifying, except in a few states. About 9 states actually do verification of citizenship all over the country, and you know what? They still have people show up to vote. 36 states require voter ID to be able to show up to vote, including my own state. My own state requires voter ID whether you do mail-in voting or in-person voting. You have to have voter ID in that. This is not complicated. This is simple and straightforward. It's not even controversial except in Washington, D.C. Across the country, if you were to ask anyone, should you show an ID to be able to vote? They would say, well, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem on that. Should you ask the simple question, should only American citizens vote? And they would say, of course that should be so. But for some reason, that's controversial among Democrats in Washington, D.C. This is simple. This is straightforward. It's why we continue to be able to push this common sense legislation that the American people want to see get done.
If you attend a John Ossoff rally in Georgia, he requires an ID to get into his rally. But he will not, along with every other Democrat, support having an ID to vote. Overwhelming majorities in South Carolina and Georgia support having an ID to vote. Actually, what we
GOP, bro, they just some most. I'm telling y'all, these Republicans are just the most disingenuous people, bro. They are. They really are, bro. And Democrats be doing some bullshit too. They all be doing some bullshit, but them damn GOP, them Republicans, bro, they some real gangbangers, bro. They be lying and straight to your face, boy. Straight to your face.
Day 57 of wearing hollow compression.
That is using the power of government to put the fix in, to fix the elections that choose who runs the government. That is about as un-American as it gets. So why is it that there's so
Nah, I don't think there's an alarm going off. I just think that the cafeteria just opened up. They about to start cooking in a minute, chat. They're about to start cooking in a minute, and I'm gonna get me some food. Good morning, chat. Man, everybody is tuning in right now. See what the Democrats got to say about this. Andrea, why are you spamming the same thing, Andrea? Jesus Christ, are you a bot? Yeah, you might be a bot. Come back in 86,000 seconds. Come back in 86,000 seconds, Andrea. Come back in 86,000 seconds. Try again, okay? Come back in 86,000 seconds. That's 1,433 minutes, Andrea. All right? That'll buy you some time to get your mind right and stop spamming so much. Don't be a zombie all your life, okay? All right, Andrea? We appreciate you, Andrea. Much love to you. All right. Take care of yourself. All right. Bye-bye.
so afraid about the midterms? What is it that makes them have to put in place mechanisms from voter ID to registration restrictions to data control that will give them the tools to guarantee the midterms? Why not run on the record? Because the record stinks. That's why. And voters know it. This is where President Trump's approval rating has gone. He's down 15%. He's down more than 25% since when he came in. That is a crash in confidence. And I believe this ended before this Iran, what did he call it, excursion? That has driven up gas prices by about $1 a gallon already with no end in sight.
Look at Chuck Schumer. That's crazy.
So they're looking at
About time for him to retire.
an election disaster, and for a really good reason. Here are Trump's job approval ratings. His disapprovals have been going up and up and up to nearly 60. His approval has been going down and down and down to below 40. There is a more than 20-point swing between his disapproval and his approval. That is a politically lethal place to be. That is a signal that you have made such a mess of your unified control of government that voters want something different.
If you approve of Donald Trump, put a 1 in the chat. If you disapprove of Donald Trump, put a 2 in the chat. If you approve of Donald Trump, put a 1 in the chat. If you disapprove, put a 2 in the chat.
Want something new, want a change, are sick of the nonsense. And when you're looking at that, and you're looking just a few months down at November, man, time to make sure you change the law so that we can make sure the right people are voting.
Nah, he put Krusty Nose up there. He put Krusty Nose up there. That's funny.
And let's take a look at a few examples of why it is that Trump's disapproval is more than 20 points above his approval. Why is it that they are in such trouble politically? Why is it that these approval ratings have dropped 15 points and 25 from net zero, from before net zero? This is a real problem. And we're not the only ones looking at this data. The billionaires who run the Republican Party these days, the billionaires who tell Trump what to do and boss him around and give him big gifts and super deals for his family and his cronies and his friends,
not cronies,
they're watching this too. They've never had it so good right now. They can basically secretly, quietly run the United States government through the Republican Party. What a deal. Poor man want to be rich, rich man want to be king. And they get to be king from the shadows with dark money and influence and a Republican Party that hops to their tune. So they're not happy either. That's why they need emergency measures that will guarantee the midterms. That's what we're involved in today. Trying to make sure that elections are fair, trying to make sure that everybody has a shot to vote, trying to make sure that for real, this is an election that reflects what the American people get to choose. Why are those numbers so terrible for Trump and Republicans? Because things aren't so great for the American people right now. Annual cost of residential electricity is up in almost every state in the last year. In some cases, it is up a lot. $278, $210, $123, $159, $171 up in Maine. People understand that their electric bills are going up.
All right. So I thought he was going to speak a little bit more on the SAVE Act. I was trying to listen to the GOP side of about let's see.
Hey, it's Ashley with 4
What's up,
Patriots.
Ashley with
We're
4
in a bit of
Patriots?
trouble.
Ashley with 4 Patriots.
I have a motion today that asks every senator a very simple question. Do you want TSA workers to get their pay? Yes or no? Are you tired, like many Americans are, of seeing long lines at the airport? Yes or no? If senators want to pay TSA workers and end the airport chaos, they should support my motion. Our TSA workers cannot be taken hostage for political games. But that is what Republicans have done. It is unacceptable to say we will only pay TSA workers if it is attached to a bill that funds ICE with no reforms. But that's what Republicans have done. Democrats want to pay TSA workers ASAP, no strings attached. A yes vote on my motion would start doing just that. This is the only vote, not the others, that will fund that the Senate has taken that will fund TSA, no ands, ifs, or buts. This is the first time the Senate holds a vote related to paying TSA workers that has zero strings attached to it. This is the vote, the only vote that says you're for supporting TSA families unconditionally. All the votes Republicans have pushed so far tie TSA paychecks to fully funding ICE without any reforms. Republicans say, sure, we'll pay TSA, but only if you keep funding ICE agents without any guardrails whatsoever. That's not acceptable to the American people. So today, my motion makes the matter very simple. Let's pay TSA workers ASAP. That's it, nothing else. We can keep negotiating ICE and see.
Anybody here work for TSA? Anybody here work for TSA? Are you not being paid? I know my cousin used to work for TSA. I need to call and see if she still works for TSA. I'm not even sure if she's dealing with this. Thank you for the $2, Leroy. Thank you for the two Canadian dollars. You worry about your that heart's in a way. Nobody works for TSA apparently. Nobody. 4 military boats, but I bet hundreds of used yachts. I bet. Look further than they tell you. Both sides. Don't pick one. Yep, we're looking on both sides. All right, I'll give you something productive to do since you think watching foreign trolls would rather watch this YouTube channel and whine for hours instead of doing something productive. All right, well, I'll give you something productive to do. Come back in 86,000 seconds. All right, come back in 86,000 seconds. All right, I don't even know your name. I'm not even gonna say your name. Your name is weird, but come back in 86,000 seconds and try again tomorrow. Okay. All right. All right. How can we get Chuck to be quiet? How can we get Donald Trump to be quiet? Right? Get Donald Trump to be quiet since he wanna troll a man who lost his life yesterday. Yeah, the president trolled a man who lost his life yesterday, right? Knowing that his time is ticking too, right? Nature is coming for his ass too, and I can't wait for nature to come on and get him. Come on, nature. Nature, just go on and get him. I can't wait. I can't wait.
CBP separately. We're having some productive conversations on getting reforms to ICE, and Democrats are going to continue pushing for real serious reforms through legislation. But that's an ongoing process that should not get in the way of funding our TSA workers. So let's keep negotiating the outstanding issues with ICE while sending paychecks to TSA workers now.
Right, he was upset that they were celebrating that, but he up there celebrating the death of Robert Mueller, who had a whose career was probably way more decorated than ever what the Kirk guy could ever accomplish. All right, we talk about a YouTube podcaster. Shout out to my YouTubers out there, but we talk about a man that went and debated college students, a grown man that went and debated college students, and he was a YouTuber. But yet you respect that guy, but you don't respect Robert Mueller, bro. Anyways, man. Anyways, that's crazy to me. Chuck Schumer, it's about time for you to go ahead and retire, sir. You and at least you. I think I don't know. Bernie Sanders still has his mind intact. I don't think he should run for president, but god damn, he's a little bit more sharper than Chuck Schumer.
Been there.
Oh no, we're good,
Canada.
guys. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right, y'all. Low key tired, chat. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm tired, man. Peace out to everybody. No one should die for freedom of speech. Facts. Trump won a bowling participation trophy after dodging the draft. Wow. Trump is being a jerk. Nothing new. That's a daily thing for him. Chuck for president. That's crazy. Chuck is the senior senator of Tel Aviv. That's crazy. They all need term limits. Facts. 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 Bernie's super sharp. Yes, he is. Bernie Sanders is super sharp. Think a little harder. All right, y'all. I'm out, man. I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, chat. I'm tired. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the live. Uh, thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. But until next time, shout out to my guy who gave me the super chat, man. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys next time. All right? All right. All right. All right. Peace out. Peace out, Sharon. Peace out, Purple. Peace out, Rocky. Peace out, Uncle Luke in the building. Ross. Peace out, Ross. Cranky. Peace out, Sharon. Once again, peace out to everybody. Somebody just subscribed to the channel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.